Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 0 of Tides of Death. How are you guys doing today? MrMouton, what's going on, buddy?
Doing well. Sat up all night playing some League of Legends, and now I'm here to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Very excited.
Excellent. This show is your brainchild. This is your baby. What do you got to tell us about it? Are you ready for this? Do you have
I'm
big
very
plans?
excited. Yeah, got a nice little pirate campaign, evil pirate campaign, hopefully. So should be a lot of fun. Should be
Great,
a lot of fun.
great. And what about you, Mr. A.G. Greenzerg, in the bottom middle? Looking
Um,
menacing.
I'm doing all right. Been at work. Just your standard day, but I'm very excited to be here. It's nice to be playing with some new people. Always
Mhm.
nice to see maybe introducing some new communities to your fantastic world, Neil. So I'm
Oh,
very excited about all of that.
thank you.
Moon's been planning this thing for a long time. I've been on board for a while, so I'm just glad to finally get things going. And I'm super impressed by the artwork that you're all watching, and I'm even more impressed by the fact that you're sort of doing all the streaming for us, Neil. So really, it's perfect. It's better than I could possibly imagined.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Pokemon Challenges is our first game together. Are you ready to play some Dungeons and some Dragons?
Not just our first game together, it's my first ever campaign of Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
I'm very excited to learn from you experienced players. I'm very excited to get yelled at because I can't do anything in Roll20. Yeah, I'm super hyped to learn a lot and do some awesome role playing.
Do you believe in beginner's luck?
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
New people always roll really good stats. At least that's what happened with Azurwind. So
They
we'll
do.
see.
He rolled broken stats. Piece of
Sure.
shit, Azurwind.
And then you killed him. So.
Yeah, well, had to be.
Yeah, so don't roll too well, guys.
Don't roll too well.
I love you, Tom, if you're out there. PotatoMcWhiskey, man with no cam for the day. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, sorry I don't have a cam. I'm not at home at the moment, so
That's all
I'm
right.
super excited. I've watched a few of the shows that you've done with stuff like with that Mooten have been in, and I'm really excited to actually take part and sort of go up against the DM king as Koibu.
We're not going against me. We're collaborating. It's long form collaborative storytelling is what we're doing. You and I are on the same side.
Don't listen to him, dude.
I don't feel like that's true. Based on what I've seen, I don't think that's true.
Well, Mr. Mooten, you want to tell us what's going on here? You want to talk for a moment about what it is that we're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna be playing second edition with Koibu as a DM. I am gonna be playing a wizard. We're gonna be in the Dardens. It is a new location in Koibu's world, and it should be a evil pirate campaign. So we're not gonna be working. We're not gonna be upset if we have to raid and pillage a village. It's gonna be that might be a commonplace in this campaign.
We'll be quite pleased, if anything.
We'll be quite pleased with that, yeah.
We will talk about what it means to be in an evil campaign a little bit down the road, but that's definitely the direction that we are heading here.
True.
All right. So the most important part of any character creation is rolling stats. And I kind of feel like it's most appropriate to start with stat rolling. So we should probably start with that. But before that, even, we're going to do just a little bit of tech setup to make sure that everyone's Roll20 experience is as it should be. So you should have all already changed that setting in the lower left corner where it... I'm sorry, in the upper right-hand corner, and then you scroll down and you change your avatar so you don't have these like big fucking boxes at the bottom of your screen. So hopefully everyone's already done that.
Done.
Great. And just a quick tutorial. On the top right corner, there's the gear. That's where your settings are. A few over from that, there's like a folded newspaper-looking thing. That's your journal. That's where your character sheets are going to be hanging out. And then on the far left are 2 chat boxes. That's where we will roll our stats. That's where we roll all the things, and there's a little chat interface. And the way that we roll is by typing in that chat area a slash space whatever the dice rolls are. So if you're rolling 3 6-sided dice, that's 3d6, standing for 3 dice 6. when we roll stats, I think we're going to roll 4d6d1, which means we roll 4 6-sided dice, and then we only add up the 3 highest of them, which, we don't add the lowest stat. That will give us a slightly better than average person. And I think in this campaign, you are not necessarily just random average Joes who are on adventure. You guys are going to be, without saying too much, sort of survivors of a shipwreck, people who already sort of have a destination in mind, and some people who have been influenced to be here. So you are not a normal or average selection of people. So
It's a nice 3 you rolled there, Nick.
I know. First D100, just getting out the bag. A 3. Nice. It's 2 better than the roll in fucking Tombs of Scoria last week. So
nice. So I'm going to play some music
out of the way.
in Roll20, just in the background while we do these things. And you are going to want to go to your gear tab and adjust the volume slider there in order to make it whatever volume you want. I'll moderate the volume for chat, so you guys can just move those sliders as you please to whatever sounds good for you. But you should all hear some thematic music now.
very thematic.
Very themed, yes.
Okay. All right, boys and girls, it's time. Now, we can all roll individual stats for ourselves, and that means maybe one character is significantly better than others, or one character is significantly worse. Or we can try and have a well-balanced party where we roll stats and then we, distribute the stats so it's a little bit more even for the party. But I don't feel that really fits the theme of piracy and take what you want and leave nothing behind. So let's roll our own stats individually, everybody. Who wants to go first?
Let's let Nick go first.
Really? You gonna make me go first? Fuck. Okay, I'll do it. I'm not scared. I'm not scared now.
Yeah.
Good.
Are we doing 7 or 6?
7 stats.
right?
We're keeping perception.
We're keeping
Don't be
perception.
scared of the dice, Nick.
And we're doing 40-61, right?
40-61, and I'm going to write them down after you roll them.
Okay, let's go. 12. That's
Not
fine.
bad.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's actually great.
All right, 15.
All
Nice,
right.
already better than Emmerich.
Uh-huh.
8. Okay.
Good. You get at least one low stat in there. Nice.
Okay, another 12. Another
2
15. All right,
15s.
I'm happy
You're
with
set.
this so far.
You're done.
Got 2 more rolls to go. Yeah. A 9. Oh, 17. Yes. Come on. Boom.
Those are good stats, Nick.
Yes,
17,
done
15,
right.
15, 12,
This is-
12, 9, 8.
It's by far and away the best character I've ever rolled.
Finally.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for the most part, you can roll whatever stats you want, but just as a quick heads up, we're not going to use any exceptional strength characters. We will put maximum strength at 17. Beyond that, it really gets game breaking very quickly. So in order to keep everything sort of focused and nice and tight, we will just cap strength at 17. Which is fine, because you didn't roll any higher than that. So who wants to go next?
Fine by me.
Who's got balls?
I gotta go accept my food, so not me.
So anyone
I'll
but you.
volunteer.
All right,
We'll
Potato
see if the
McWhiskey.
newbies look.
Let me just
Try to be
put some lines in here. There we go. Roll your stats. Ooh, a
all right.
16.
That's a good start.
Oh, yeah. 11. 12.
This guy's gonna be very above
16.
average.
Nice.
Ooh, my boy. 9.
I
Two
feel like
more?
you need at least 1 9.
Yep.
15 as well.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ. And,
And
a
a
12. Those are really good.
Oh, I'm rolling low. Here it is.
All right, Mr. Mouton. The Gimp character.
Yeah, the wizard gimp.
You only need one half decent
Well,
stat.
I need 2,
Okay.
hopefully. That was not.
That's not a real roll.
13, 12 and 13,
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
11.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think we should keep the 4.
18.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
And how
That's
many?
the end.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12
Oh, my God.
and 15.
Nice.
Jesus Christ. Well, you got your 2 good stats. You can
That's all I wanted.
play any type of wizard, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
18 int, Nick. That's what we needed.
Perfect, yeah. Well done,
Big
guys.
one.
All right.
Ooh.
It's all
why
that
don't-
league playing. Coming out in your role of the skill.
A little bit of luck.
All the suffering of your previous campaigns have prepared you for this. Your redemption characters. I'm looking forward to it.
So I cannot go. Fuck, what's it called? Hold on, I gotta look it up in the spells now. Invoker specialist, right? Because they need 16 con.
You can put your 18 there and your 15 in it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, yeah.
Doesn't make that much difference at the end of the day.
Well, I'd get a lot of more HP too, Nick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
It might be. I mean, what do you miss out on? It's just lower spell learning chance, which
It's like 50% lower, and then I guess I get max spells per level. I'm minus 7 of them.
Yeah. It might be worth it. An 18 con wizard is kind of crazy, though. What does an 18 con wizard even look like?
Plus 2 HP on each roll.
No,
Right,
I know
right?
that. But like, what does he look like, though? No.
He's just fucking rich,
that's a good
dude.
point. You have to be a fighter to get
Oh,
more
yeah.
than plus 2 HP per level.
Yeah. But just imagine Bruce Lee, but instead of like casting nunchuck, he casts fireball. That's what an 18 con
Yeah.
wizard looks like. Just completely shredded, like no body fat, amazing abs. Maybe not like super strong, but just like totally fit the whole way through.
Neil, you seem like you've thought about this person a lot.
You know, I might have a dream where Bruce Lee is a wizard and he comes to my house and he takes me to a far off land, but that's neither here nor there.
Nice.
Jan, are you ready to roll some stats?
Absolutely.
Okay, some good stats were rolled in your absence, so
Fantastic.
good luck.
All right, what,
Yeah.
what do I type?
4D.
Slash R? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, listen to Nick.
Slash R space 4d6 d1.
Oh,
God.
Hello.
He's doing it.
How many times do I do this? 7 times?
7 times,
Yeah.
buddy.
2.
Holy shit.
God. Holy shit.
What is this? Bullshit.
Some max rolls here, man.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
Still going.
These are still
6.
fine. Okay, there we go. Some
That's cool. That's cool, though. Put that in intelligence.
Last one.
nice.
All right.
All right.
Nice,
Okay.
yeah.
Really well. That's not even that low of an intelligence. 7. It's like fine.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
that's
put
okay.
that-
Fine. Yeah. So to look at these stats again, Mutin got 18, 15, 13, 3 12s, and an 11. Nick got 17, 2 15s, if I can write them, 2 12s, a 9, and an 8.
Yep.
Pokemon got 17, 17, 16, which is ridiculous. And then what? 12, 12, 11? Is that right?
It's
Am I
12,
missing
12,
some-
11, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
I have to put the 18 in int. I just
12,
can't.
12, 11.
It's understandable.
11.
It's
yeah.
too big of a waste to put the con because of the HP adjust thing.
Mhm.
So you can't go Evoker.
But I can't go invoker, but I'm probably just gonna go generalist. It should be fine. Anyways, right?
Yeah, that's what I always do.
12,
Yeah.
11.
Max spells
9.
level 9. Max spells per level 18. Chance to learn
Mhm.
85.
That's all the spells.
Got all the spells.
Okay. So let's talk about this. Mutin, clearly you want to play a wizard. You're going to play a generalist mage.
I believe so. Yeah.
Great. Nick, you're going to play a fighter rogue, is it?
Yep.
Okay. UGE. Pokemon. You were going to play a fighter? Was that right?
He can barely hear you, Pokemon.
Yeah, you sound
Pokemon.
quiet.
Sorry, I might be really quiet.
Oh, you sound so far away.
Yeah, you're quiet. I can't even hear you now.
I can't even hear. He's just gone.
He's eating his schnitzel, guys.
We'll come back to him. Potato McWhiskey, you are playing a cleric, right? A priest?
That's right. Sort of a supporty cleric kind of role is what I'm planning on.
Yeah. And you and I will have to talk about your cleric. Well, we will talk about the cleric, but we're going to do some unusual things with your cleric, I think. Or some
Yeah, I'm very
odd
excited
stuff.
with the hints that I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get around to that.
Is this better?
Oh, so
Yeah,
much
a little
better.
Loud. Yeah.
Great. You're playing a fighter, right?
Yeah. I just want to hit shit with my fists. That was the plan.
Great. You want to do like a brawling type fighter?
Yeah,
a-
I think so. If that's possible.
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay. So, we can kind of tackle these individually, because I know you'll all need a little bit of feedback from me on these things. But if you open up your character sheets in the journal tab, you can begin to fill out your stats as you like. It should auto fill out your sub-stats for you. So go ahead and open that up and put them around. Fighter, Mr. Brawler Fighter with 2 17s and a 16. Clearly
Yes.
your best stats should be strength, dex, and con. I'll let you figure out exactly how you want to get them there. But a 17 in all of those is great, and a 16 in all of those is pretty good. So you can't go wrong, basically. Your decision's going to be
It was-
like, do you want a little extra to hit bonus, or like a little extra HP, or a little extra AC? So
It was Dex, Con, and Strength, right?
dex, con, and strength are the most important for you, definitely, far and away.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Potato
Question.
McWhiskey. Yeah, what's up?
If I have a 13 in Wisdom, it
Mhm.
says I would get a bonus first level spell. Is that only for cleric? Or
That's
is that
only for
also
clerics.
wizard? Okay, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. Potato McWhiskey, as a cleric, your most important stat's going to be wisdom, by far. And then after that, you could decide what sort of cleric you want to be. Do you want to be more knowledgeable and charismatic, or do you want to be more like, I'm ready to beat shit up? A 16, I would soft recommend putting in Constitution. That extra 2 HP a
Yep.
level is going to be hella bomb.
Wait, you said wisdom, but it's called willpower here, right?
Yeah, wisdom, willpower.
gotcha.
I'm going to use both of them, and they're going to be completely interchangeable. So if you
Yeah, I
hear
just wanted to
wisdom,
make sure.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Nick, Fighter Rogue, 17
Yeah.
dex, 15 strength, 15 con.
No, I'm gonna put the 15 in charisma.
Nice.
15
Good
strength,
choice.
17 dex, 9 con, 12 int, 12 willpower, 15 charisma, 8 perception, I think.
Love it. Love it.
Disappointed in you not being a power gamer.
Well, I need to come on, I need the charisma to come on with my crew. Yeah.
Where do I see the wizard specializations?
Player's Handbook, Chapter 3, Wizards.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my book. One sec.
Yeah.
I wonder if the 15 in con makes more sense than in strength.
15 strength will give you carrying capacity, 15 con gives you plus 1 HP.
Yeah.
What would
I'll
it-
put 7 in Int, right? And then like 11 willpower and then 12 in the other two. I
Nice.
think that makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, I'm planning to wear leather armor, and Jan's character can carry my shit for me, so.
Yeah, you don't need the extra carrying capacity. You're the captain.
Yeah.
You don't carry shit. You've got minions for
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, so maybe 15 con instead.
Love it. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys play with your stats, and we'll check back in a moment while I review the brawling rules.
All right. So is anyone struggling to where to put the numbers in their stats? Maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah, I probably need a bit of help. So like, I assume int like affects my cleric's ability to cast spells, right, and learn them and shit.
No. So it's for you. It's only willpower for casting spells. Int will get you more like secondary skills. So if you want to be like a healer or a herbalist or know how to read lots of different languages or be a good swimmer or whatever, like the more int you have, the more of those you can have.
Does that mean
Whatever.
I can treat int basically like a semi-dump stat as a cleric?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I could go more of a fighty route, like put my high stuff in strength and dex and con, and then just max will.
Yeah, because clerics can wear armor. They can use most weapons. You know, you will be on the front lines fighting. So any like con for additional health, or dex or strength for like AC or to hit bonuses, would definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do then, because I wasn't sure to max out my strength or my int, because I figured more spells as a cleric is pretty good shit.
Yeah. Like Muton's character with 18 int is going to have so many like secondary skills anyway, so he'll probably be able to get healing and herbalism, that kind of thing, pretty easily.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go generalist.
You do know you're giving up one spell per day, right? One spell per level per day.
That's a pretty big thing early game. Late game, not so much, but early game, ooh.
You don't start with any extra early game, right?
You would start with one spell a day if you're a generalist mage at level 1.
Specialist should be 2.
I don't want to lose this character, Nick. Which specialist would you recommend? I cannot go Invoker.
Wait, why can't you go Invoker? Sorry?
I have the con for it.
It doesn't have the stats.
Is Invoker like uses their health to cast or something?
I'm not sure.
No.
So there's prerequisites. Second edition makes its designs its character classes in less of like a you can do it whatever you want, and more of like here's a concept for a character, and in order to play this character you need to be at least semi good in these things. So for like an invoker you need to have at least 16 con, because like the lore is the being able to pull such raw energy from the void is really difficult on your body, and to specialize in being an invoker you need to at least be this healthy to do it. And to be like a, I don't know, like an enchanter, you need to have at least, 15 charisma or whatever it is because of blah, blah, blah. So all the different specializations require slightly higher stats. Even like a ranger requires like 2 14s and 2 13s. A paladin requires a 17 charisma and like a 9 strength and like 14 wisdom. Bards need like a 15 and 2 14s or something like that. So there are some stat requirements that just kind of fill out the... like that try and make your character more like the archetype of that region. And you're going to find a lot of that archetypal stuff in second edition where it's like, well, here's a requirement, but the requirement feels a little like maybe unnecessary, but it's to like get that feeling of those characters.
Yeah. So
I don't... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I like the idea of like your body being ripped apart by magic if you're not like thick enough or whatever.
What is a force mage? I didn't see that in the book.
I've never heard of that before.
Bullshit. The thing is, it's like, I always feel like giving up certain schools of magic is such a big price to pay.
It can be, yeah. Let me look at Purple Worm.
It's table 22 is what you want to look at. I mean, you could do Conjurer if you put the 15 in con, but then you're giving up Divination, which is garbage, but Invocation, and you don't want to give that up. You could be a Diviner. No, you use 16 for that.
Yeah.
So really, your only choices are Abjurer, Conjurer, or Transmuter if you want to put the 18 in it.
Well, there's other specialists in schools of effect that I could technically go. Like the Dimensionalist that Georg was. If that's cool with Koibu, I'll let him look at it real quick, but let me read this more.
In the Wizard's Handbook you're talking about?
It's in Purple
Spells
Worm.
and magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Player's option spells and magic.
Spells and magic, right, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I can send you links to the books.
Thank you.
No worries.
I would lose Alteration and Divination, which I think I'm fine with.
Alteration is the biggest school of all. It's got a shit ton of useful stuff.
Oh, those are the same thing?
No. Abjuration is a protection magic. Alteration is just like, spider climb, water breathing, that sort of stuff.
Cringe stuff.
Yeah, cringe stuff, but also like hold portal and wizard lock and knock and, it's all the like really normal, ordinary, useful stuff that you need to just like It's like 45%
Also,
of the wizard class.
Burning Hands, Color Spray, Enlarge, Featherfall,
Yeah, the good stuff is all an alteration.
Light. Oh, no, wait, not Light.
I think light is originally an alteration spell, but I've got a few versions
right.
kicking around. All right, so Pokemon, for your brawler, the way that we're going to do it is through the Combat and Tactics book, which looks like this. Oh, he wasn't even here. Pokemon.
Sorry,
For your
I'm back.
brawler, we're going to be using the Combat and Tactics optional rules for... It's going to be under martial arts, and there are 4 styles here. You're going to pick one to really get into, and then the other 3 you can dabble with. So one of them, style A, focuses on using your hands. Style
Yes.
B focuses on using your feet. You should definitely pick one of these 2 to be your main focus. Style 3 is about pulls and trips and throws, and style D is purely defensive, giving you blocks, dodges, and better AC. So you should decide if you want to be more of a punchy boy or more of a kicky boy.
Definitely more of a punchy boy.
Excellent. So we're going to get you to specialize in style A, and we'll go forward from there in a little bit. So let's just do a quick check-in around the table. Mooten, you know more or less what you're doing. You don't need any help with your character in the short run, right?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna probably go Dimensionalist. I'm gonna follow after my hero Georg.
Ooh, okay. I think Dimensionalist should be fine.
Yeah, 16 in or whatever is the minimum, and the opposing schools are Enchantment and Necromancy.
Oh,
So those are,
yeah.
probably fine.
Yeah, that sounds like a great school to go into. Love it.
Yeah.
Nick, your fighter rogue. You don't need any help from me, right?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, are you going
Wait,
rules as written rogue, or are you going to go 2-point Neil rogue?
I think I'm just going to go Rules as Written Rogue.
Cool. Love it.
I
Love it.
also... You said I might start at a higher level?
Yeah. Don't worry about it
We'll
for
come back
now.
to that?
We'll
Okay.
come back to
Great.
levels when we roll for HP and everything a little bit
Okay.
down the line. Pokemon, we will work out your fighter stuff in just a moment. And Potato, you're going to be a cleric or a priest. Do you need anything in the... I think you and I will just have to chat. While we
Yeah,
do
we'll
this
do
stuff.
just the basic stuff, yeah.
Great. So, Pokemon, you're on my list first, so we're going to start with you. You're going to be
Absolutely.
doing a fighter. So, what's your
Yes.
intelligence score?
7.
Love it. So, with 7 intelligence, you get, you'll notice on your character sheet, next to the 7 on int, there's a languages box that has a 1 in it.
Yes.
That means,
Yes.
in addition to your base language, Common, you can learn 1 language eventually. You can be
Got
at
it.
best bilingual. What it also
Yes.
means is that you get 1 extra proficiency slot. And because you're a fighter, you can use that for either a weapon or a non-weapon proficiency. So before we get any farther, just for the sake of all the viewers and all the players, I'm going to monologue about proficiencies a little bit. Proficiencies come in 2 forms, weapon and non-weapon. Weapon proficiencies you use for weapons or armor or shields or fighting styles or whatever. Non-weapon proficiencies cover the things swimming, horseback riding, rope use, direction sense, something like that. Every character gets additional non-weapon proficiencies based on the number of languages they're allowed to speak. Fighters are special. They can use that extra proficiency slot for either a weapon or a non-weapon to, emphasize that you are sort of more martial focused and oriented. So for you, you're going to start with 4 weapon proficiencies, 3 non-weapon proficiencies, and then 1 extra that you can put in either category as you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and since you are doing a brawler, I'm just going to kind of hold your hand through this, and then afterwards we can talk details so you can really get into it and understand all the nuts and bolts.
Absolutely.
You've got 4 weapon proficiencies, maybe an extra. You're definitely going to want to put 2 into style A, One proficiency is all you ever need in something to like learn how to use it. If you're a fighter, a single class fighter, you can specialize by putting 2 slots in something, and then you make it even better. And then when you get to 5th level, you can master by adding another slot, and it makes it even better. And at 7th level or 9th level, you can high master, and then at some other higher level, you can even grand master. So you can like really, really get good at these things. But you're a single class fighter, so you're the only one can do that. So we should put 2 slots in style A. That's going to be punching. You're definitely going to want 1 slot.
Real quick, is this something I'm doing on my character sheet right now? Or are we just talking through it?
that's a smart idea. The 4th tab over that says skills is the one that you're going to want to go to.
I only
your
see
character
3 tabs. I see bio and info, character sheet, attributes and abilities.
Just below that, there's like more tabs. They look like boxes. Basic, combat, gear, skills, modifiers, settings.
Yes.
Yeah, go to the
And I'm
skills
picking
one.
skills? Got it. Okay.
So on the right-hand side, you see there's like that box that says weapon proficiencies and slots. There's a little add button below it, and if you click that, you can type in for the name, like style A, and then the slots, you can put 2.
I'm so lost right now. Hold on.
Okay, I'm looking at your sheet with you. You see the proficiencies, weapon proficiencies text right below and to the left of encumbrance base. No?
Oh god, I do not.
Okay, maybe some... Does your screen look like this? At least in part.
Nope.
Okay, refresh your browser. I think there was a bug earlier that we fixed, and maybe the browser refresh didn't carry it through.
Hold on. Journal, this guy, character sheet. I see it now. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
I see
So
weapon proficiency.
hit the add button underneath that,
Yes.
and then you can put style A for the
Yes.
name and 2 for the number of slots.
Got it.
Great. You're going to add another row below that, and you're going to want to do style D. Style D will just give you a +2 to your armor class if you are not wearing any armor. And it will also allow you to make a free block each round.
Okay.
And this is, you're going to have 1 slot in that. And this is where we're going to have to start talking about like real character choices, because it gives you a +2 to your armor class if you're unarmored.
Yes.
But it means that you have to be unarmored. So if you want to wear armor all the time, then this is actually maybe not that great for you to take. On the other hand, if you're wearing heavy armor and you fall off your boat, it's probably game over.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
So if you want to go just, brawler fighter, then I would do high dex and style D. But if you want to go like a more armored fighter, then we would skip the style D and just get you some armor. How do you feel about this? It's a pretty big decision you got to make pretty early on.
I don't see my character wearing armor, to be honest.
It doesn't, there's not going to be a lot of like armor on ships. In town, if you're like
Exactly.
ever walking through a big city, you might be at a disadvantage where the guards on dry land can wear heavy armor. But I think that will just fit the theme of seafaring really well.
Yeah,
Great.
I agree.
Okay, so that is 3 of your 4 fighting styles. You're also going to want 1 slot in style B. This allows you to use your feet effectively as weapons as well.
Yeah, got it.
Great.
Real quick, can you walk me through it real quick again? What does slots exactly mean?
So you just get a number of proficiencies, and they're called slots. They could be called points
got it.
instead, but they were called slots back in the 80s, and now we're still playing with the same rules.
I understand now.
Cool. I'm going to link you to the list of non-weapon proficiencies. There's going to be a lot of them.
Alright.
It's going to be overwhelming, and you're going to handle it.
That's okay.
So that link that I just gave you right there in the disco
Yes.
is a list. I'm going to give you a separate list that then describes and gives you like text on all of that. I don't expect you to read literally everything because there's way too much to read. Non-weapon proficiencies. Actually, I think that is the descriptive one, isn't it? Yeah. Here is the other one. And this is going to be good for everyone to pay attention to for just a moment. On this second sheet that I've sent you, it's a spreadsheet. we've got a bunch of columns. On the far left is the name of the proficiency slot of the proficiency. The next one, the cost, is how many non-weapon slots that it takes. The next one over is what static keys off of. The next one over is a prerequisite. If there's something in here, most things don't, but if there's something in here, you need to have that other slot to work with. And then the most important thing is the 4 columns on the right that have X's in them. You'll see at the top there are some classes. So if there's an X in one of those things, like if you're a warrior and you're looking at administration, there's an X in it. It means that you can buy administration normally without having to worry about it. If you are a fighter or a warrior and you're trying to get anatomy, there's no X in that for you, which means that anatomy proficiency is like harder for fighters to learn. So you would have to spend an additional slot to get that. So if you want administration, it's going to cost you 1 out of the cost column. If you want anatomy, it's going to cost you 2 because it doesn't have the X under the warrior group. And that's the dirty version of this. There's a lot of shit here. Proficiencies are based on your class. So for a wizard, I think you get 1 fighter for non-weapon, 1 weapon for non-weapon. Yeah. There's a lot of shit in here. Some of it is completely useless, like administration or bureaucracy. Like those aren't necessarily useful things unless you want to be a bureaucrat or like deal with government administration or business administration. But things like swimming might be super fucking useful, or like rope use might be super fucking useful. So browse this list. Don't worry about the colors on them. That's for something else entirely. And if you want to know what something does, you can look at the other document that I listed that has a description of all of these proficiencies. And that should be where we are. So Pokemon, you should start looking through these things, looking for things that sound good for you. And while you do that, I'm going to...
Since Nick's character and I have a backstory together, it might make sense that we have some sort of shared proficiencies, since in our backstory we kind of work together a lot.
Absolutely.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
So maybe we should come together on this a little bit.
Gambling.
But then also I would imagine that obviously it's not good for like a party to like share like all the proficiencies and to split them up a little bit, right?
Right.
Yeah,
there are going to be
some complementary proficiency choices.
Yeah, but like it wouldn't make sense that like one of us can't swim, I feel like.
Yeah, like we're both probably gonna have swimming. I mean, I guess we're both gonna rape use is gonna be another good one if we're pirates.
Yeah, and you two are
boating...
definitely gonna need seamanship is the one.
Yep.
There is I think a boating proficiency as well, but that covers something slightly different than what we're going to want. Seamanship, I believe, is the core sailing proficiency.
Okay.
What is shipwright? Is that like building ships?
That's building ships.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And real quick again, how many of these slots do I get?
You get 3 non-weapon.
Yes.
You've already used your 4 weapon, and then there's 1 left over. So if you use your 3 non-weapons and decide that you still want another one, then use that extra that you've got. Or if you can get everything that you want with only 3 slots, then we can maybe use that other one for another weapon proficiency somewhere, or a fighting style, or something like that. So take what you want, and then we'll figure out what to do with your last slot.
All right, I'm just looking through them real quick.
Yeah, take your time. We will come
I
back
have
to you.
7 language slots.
Holy
so
shit.
Those are also
Holy.
not proficiencies if I don't use them. Yeah.
Those have to be non-weapon for you. Yeah.
Correct.
You have 7? Oh
That's
my
what
god.
an 18 int gives you.
Yeah.
So you have a total of 11 non-weapon proficiency slots. 4 for your class, 7 for your languages. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
I do want some languages though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use them on languages. Totally.
I'll probably use like 3 or 4.
Okay.
How many languages are in the Jordan area?
So
'Cause I was
common
born
is going
there,
to
so I
be
may
the
know.
primary language. It's very similar to Eridonian common. There'll be like a familiarity between them. So that's all you'll really need. But if you want to pick sub languages or like sub race languages like Halfling or whatever, that is also legit. Common will be widely
free one?
available. A common is free, yeah. It'll be widely available and probably, cover 99% of your interactions. The other language slots might be so you can do some like fun stuff on the side where most people won't have speak halfling or something if you're in a halfling area, or if you're in the Dardennes, most people won't speak halfling, so you might find that useful somewhere. Monster languages are going to be fewer and farther between. If there are intelligent monsters, they're going to be on some of these like quote unquote uninhabited isles, like uncivilized islands. But yeah, there's only one primary language, unlike in Arcadia where you've got 4.
You can't learn any fish languages, right?
Any which ones?
Underwater languages?
I'm sorry, no.
Jan, you probably want to take the tumbling proficiency because it says when in unarmed combat, you can improve your attack roll by 2.
Ooh, okay.
Which seems like
that's
quite a
pretty
big
good.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming literacy isn't a free one, right?
Nope, you have to buy literacy. Most
Okay,
people...
well, as a wizard, I think you need that, so I'll grab that.
The overwhelming majority of people will be illiterate bastards.
Nice.
And that's just the norm.
Okay.
Nick, you probably also should have literacy. You don't have to. It would be kind of funny to have an illiterate ship captain.
Wouldn't it?
It tickles me a
I
little.
kind of want to get torturing because I'm the henchman and I'm like, I do bad stuff for my captain, but I feel like I kind of need swimming, seamanship, rope use, and then I use the extra one on tumbling.
Mm-hmm.
You get some extra ones because you're intelligence, but maybe if you've only got 17 int, you don't.
I have 7 int, yeah.
Yeah,
7
it's
int, sorry.
1 extra.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
No. PotatoMcWhiskey.
Hi.
Let's talk for a moment here. You are a cleric, so you get, I believe, 2 weapon proficiencies and 4 non-weapon. And then your languages can be used to get more non-weapons. You have 15 intelligence, so you get 4 language slots. So you can get up to a total of 8 non-weapon proficiencies and 2 weapon proficiencies. So let's deal with the weapons
I see.
first. Yeah.
I think I might swap my int and strength then, because I thought I needed more language slots because I wanted to take a few extra skills, so I'm going to switch those.
Okay.
Some of it more fightery. So I think I lose 1 non-weapon proficiency.
Right. But you will get a lot more carrying capacity and
Yes.
higher strength. Nice. All right. So you get 4 non-weapon plus your 3 from languages. That's 7. And you get 2 weapon proficiencies. So you're going to need a primary weapon. Unlike some other games, you are proficient with very specific types of weapons. And then
So
if
like
you're
a
using...
staff or a mace.
Right, staff, mace, something like that. And if you're using a weapon that you are not proficient with, you just have a penalty to hit based on your class. And since you are a priest, a cleric, you have a -3 to hit with any weapon that you're not proficient. So it's a penalty. It's like 15 percentage points. It's frustrating.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So you're going to want to pick 2 things that you think that like really suit you. That you're going to be able to use often. Or if you want to take a hard gamble, you can pick 1 thing and get expertise in it. Expertise will give you an extra attack every other round, but then you only know how to use 1 weapon. And if you get disarmed, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
or
bad
if
news bears.
you come across a magical weapon that isn't the one that you have, you're really not going to be able to use it because, So I recommend you picking 2 weapons.
And I can't gain proficiencies later, can I?
You do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Every 4 levels, you get a new weapon proficiency slot. So at level 5, every level divisible by 4. So at level 4 and
Gotcha.
level 8. Mm-hmm. And 12, but we won't get there probably. Cool. So what do you want to use to hit people?
I feel like the stereotypical cleric is kind of like something like a club or a mace. That feels like pretty
Mhm.
nice to me.
Yeah.
I think I'll take at least mace, and then maybe something a bit more exotic. I don't know.
Yeah, like a spear.
Yeah,
Exactly.
mace spear.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, mace and spear. That's it.
Great. So why don't you head over to your skills tab on your character sheet?
Thanks, Newton, for the tip.
Good thing to get with the spear proficiency is if you carry like javelins, you can use them as throwing weapons.
Oh, I like it.
for
So
range and crossover.
I go to my character sheet and then skills.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
And on the right side, click the add button underneath the proficiency tab or box.
Yep.
And then add mace, 1 slot, and spear, 1 slot.
Is arcanology going to fit in this campaign, Koibu?
Arcanology is the study of the history of magic and the wizards who came before you. So if you want to do that, that's fine.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So far I have arcanology, literacy, and spellcraft. That's 4.
Okay.
I'll keep looking.
Potato, it's time for you to also look at that big ass list of non-weapon proficiencies and pick up to 7. Also remembering that you got to check the priest column to make sure you can learn at cost, and then figuring out what the cost is. So gem cutting would normally take 2, but priests can't learn it. So if you want to become a gem cutter, you need to spend 3 slots on that, and you need to have the prerequisite of jeweler, which is another 1 slot.
Gotcha. I have 5 sort of pre-picked out. I'm just going to double check the list, see if there's any I want to pick as well.
Yeah. Feel free to just fill out these lists at full and then remove things as needed. This will take a while, so y'all go back and forth on this shit.
Are you cool if I am the navigation person?
Yes,
Nick?
please go ahead. Yeah, it's an int thing, so
Yeah, it's a new thing.
yeah, good. Saves me getting it.
Okay, I'm gonna get seamanship as well.
Great.
My guy worked on a ship growing up, so he probably
Perfect.
get these things.
Gonna need that seamanship.
Wisdom. What's the modifier?
Trying to work out my last 2 on weapons.
Nick, for weapons, you took rapier expertise, dagger, and 2 weapon fighting, so you can dual wield a rapier and a dagger.
Yep.
Very nice.
I thought about going cutlass, but rapier just seems better.
I think the
D6
rapier
plus 1.
stats are better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want to switch. I just want to be a bunch of swashbucklers now.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Or
Normally, most clerics are restricted in their weapon types. You are doing something unusual and something secret that no one really knows about, and we will slowly leak to the rest of the world. So in your situation, you can take a sword instead of, just bludgeoning weapons. You could replace that spear with a cutlass or a rapier if you wanted. Or
Yeah, that's
replace
what I'm gonna do.
the mace, whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah, no, I like the plan.
Oh, tightrope boarding. I want that.
I definitely see you up there, yeah.
Yeah.
are you getting boating, Nick?
Boating? No. What stat is it?
It's int.
Yeah, I mean, what does
I
it
can
do?
grab it. The proficiency allows the character to pilot any small boat, such as a kayak or canoe, operating at maximum speed. It also allows him to make minor repairs and improvements in these boats. Waterproofing, patching holes. I don't know how often we're going to use this.
I mean, it could come in handy if we need to escape or something.
Yeah. Also, I don't think we're going to be taking our big ship onto islands to look for stuff. I think we will be
Yeah,
taking
exactly.
a small one. So I'll grab that as well.
Yeah, so navigation and seamanship will deal with large ships on oceans and seas and other large bodies of water. Boating is small ships and boats and crafts on rivers and lakes and really close to the shore. So your little rowboat is a boating proficiency. Your big ass ship is a seamanship proficiency. Probably only need 1 person with a boating proficiency.
It says, is boating a prereq for seamanship? Or is it the other way around?
Shouldn't be.
Seamanship is a prerequisite for boating.
Yes,
yes.
what that man said.
Right.
Okay, I was reading it wrong. My bad.
Do I want cartography, Nick?
No, I don't think so. Making
Don't we
maps?
want to
I
make
mean,
I think
Like,
it would be
I-
navigation.
yeah, I think navigation is better. I could see cartography maybe being useful if some guy is explaining to us where some treasure is, and you quickly jot down a legible map. But other than that, like when are we really going to be making maps?
I'll hold one on that. I'll hold for that. Well, I think that we're going to be making our campaign map, correct? Like we're going to be the ones writing on the map, so I think it
Yeah.
could be very.
I guess so. Yeah.
So the flag of the area that you are in is sort of a rough map of the whole Dardennes area. So based on just like the flags around, you can kind of figure out what's going on, but that's not going to be a great map. That's just sort of like there are these islands, this is the order in which they are. If you want to be doing any sort of like mapping of the islands more specifically, or like, advanced cartography type stuff, then that will be a useful proficiency to have.
That would be like us knowing that there's like a river on this one island that'll actually like is a shortcut and it'll take you like through it and like over the
Yeah, because in theory you're going to be sailing around a lot, and if you have the cartography skill and you've got the pen and the paper and you're just sort of like hanging out making maps as you sail around, then you will slowly over time learn the like ins and outs of each island as you make loops and loops and loops through the Dardennes. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet to have.
Is
Actually,
Potato going to have healing spells?
I'm kind of tempted to not take healing spells.
I'm tempted to tell you shouldn't do that, but you can do whatever you want. I'm just letting you know if you do that, it's
harder.
It's not harder. It's on a different level of hard.
there is clerics get spells based on their deities, based on their patrons. So whoever it is that is providing you with your spells is the person who will give you a spell list. I have a list of prepared spells for you already that you will be getting. I'm going to try and find it right now. I don't remember if there are healing spells in there or not.
We need a healing spell on there. Just a Cure Light Wounds level 1.
I have already thought about this deep and hard and made my decision and then forgot my decision.
We'll see what Past Neil was feeling, I guess.
Past Neil was a fucking genius, though. Trust him.
I believe him, yeah. Okay, am I missing anything, Nick, for wizard non-weapon proficiencies? Can you tell me what Imric has?
I can do, yeah. I think you got spellcraft.
Spellcraft, Arcanology.
Okay, let me open up my other character sheet. Hang on. What does Imric have? Literacy, etiquette, land-based writing, archaeology, ancient history, ancient languages, heraldry, spellcraft, swimming, and first aid.
What is heraldry?
Heraldry is like knowing all of the noble families in the area, what all their flags are, coat of arms, etc., etc. I can't really see you having that. I mean, Imric had it because we were like nobility, right?
Yeah.
Nick, you're going rope use?
Yeah, rope use, yeah.
I don't think it makes sense for both of us to... I mean, it makes sense that my character would have it, but I think having that overlap is maybe...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like rope use could come in pretty handy a lot of the time, but if you're short on proficiencies, then it's definitely one you can drop.
Yeah.
I have 2 more proficiencies that I can take, and I will have to...
Oh, I just realized I need literacy, which means I got to drop one of these.
Yeah, I need +1. I got like religion, swimming, seamanship, fishing, omen reading, and then I just need 1.
Gaming.
Did anybody get a healing proficiency?
Sorry?
Did anybody get a healing proficiency?
You know what? I'll take healing. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Probably going to take first aid as well.
It takes a couple of slots. You need first aid on healing.
Should someone maybe get fishing?
I have fishing right now, but I can drop it
Oh.
if someone else takes it.
Potato's got it, yeah.
Okay, if you have it, then it's fine.
Just a
Neil, I need
heads
one
up
more- I
on
need one more
the...
proficiency.
A heads up on the healing proficiency. This will allow you to, like, hit points come back at a rate of like 1 per day if you're resting. With a healing proficiency, you can bring that up to like 2 per day. And if you're in a situation where someone can get like total bed rest and you've got, I think, herbalism with you, then you can go up to a total of 3 hit points per day. I've looked at the cleric spell list. There are no healing spells on here. So a healing proficiency might be super clutch.
Good times.
Okay, I'm going to drop fishing and omen reading.
Neil, could I
Yeah.
petition you to take seamanship for free, since we are sailors? What do you
I'll
think about
petition
that?
that as well.
Why would that make you get it for free? Don't you take that to become a sailor? Isn't that like a prerequisite of sailing?
You know, in the past, you've given like 1 free proficiency based on background.
True.
So that's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm looking at your stats, Nick. I don't think you need any extra help this campaign.
But
17,
I need
15,
I
15.
need literacy, and which do I drop here?
Well, what do you got? Seamanship,
just be
rope use,
illiterate.
swimming, appraising. Just scrap appraising.
But that's kind of useful for being
then-
like a criminal, no?
Then I don't know. I feel like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 6 things. You got a lot of things here, Nick.
Okay.
I feel
Okay,
like
I'm gonna get an herbalism proficiency. Not happy with it.
So rogue 3. I'm gonna.
All right, I got first aid, healing, and an anatomy, so we're good on that front.
Okay. Cool.
We should probably have one more person with first aid, right, Nick?
Yeah, it
In
does
case
help.
someone goes down. That's
Have
the
you
only
got
way to
it?
get him up.
Have you
I'm
got it?
gonna get it if you tell me. Yeah.
Well, without first aid, you need to make an int check, and you've got 18 int. So in a way,
Oh,
maybe you don't need first aid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you've got first aid, you don't need to make the int check. So
Mhm.
it's actually kind of conversely what you would think, right? Low int, it's better to have first aid. High int, it's less important.
So a quick note for Potato McWhiskey on spellcasting. As a priest, you get a number of spells per day that you can cast. However, in the morning, when you first wake up and your mind and your body are still well rested, you have to decide which spells you prepare for that day. So it's not like you get and cast 5 spells from your list. It's like at the beginning of the day, you pick X number of spells, and that's what you have. And those spells will
Gotcha.
carry over to the next day, and you keep the same spells listed until you use them. So if you memorize 5 spells one morning, you don't cast anything, you just keep those 5 spells to the next day. If you want to get rid of a spell so you can learn another one, you must cast it. So, if you're not a wizard, but if you had Fireball and you're like, well, I really want to change out this Fireball for a different spell, you would have to cast Fireball somewhere at something. Just
I
as
gotcha.
a,
So it's almost like spell equipment. Like I pick my list of
exactly.
things that I'm wearing that day. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the number of spells that you can cast is based on your level and your wisdom. We will need to link you to the priest spell level progression page on Purple Worm, and then you will get additional spell slots based on your wisdom or willpower.
Awesome.
So your wisdom, as you can see, says first X2, second X2. So you will always have 2 additional first level slots above and beyond what your page tells you, and 2 additional second level slots above and beyond what the page tells you, as long as you can cast second level slots. So let me give you a link to this thing that you will need. Has anyone figured out how to link individual Purple Worm pages yet?
I have no idea now.
It can't be done.
Can't be done? Okay.
No,
Well,
we don't have the technology.
You could just tell me where to like the quick navigation.
Yeah. So purpleworm.org/rules. I've DM'd it to you. And then on the left side, there's just a navigation table. You want to go Player's Handbook, Chapter 3, Class Descriptions, Priest, Table 24.
Question.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Am I
Yes.
able to? So Potato McWhiskey's going to take the healing, first aid, and anatomy thing, and I'm going to take the herbalism. Are we able to work together and get that
Yes.
bonus?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Because in the thing,
Awesome.
it didn't seem like that, but okay, sure.
Yeah,
That
if you've
makes
got an
good sense.
herbalist and a healer, I think they can work together
In order to
for
get
that
the
sort of thing.
bonus.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
Excellent.
so far my non-weapon proficiencies are spellcraft, arcanology, literacy, swimming, navigation, seamanship, boating, cartography, and herbalism.
Sounds good.
I like them.
I have no extra languages. I will only speak common.
Great. That's all you really need.
I mean,
Besides, you're a wizard. You'll get comprehend languages or tongues or something like that if you really need something. Hope we can always do the ever fun pantomime.
sure.
I think I'm gonna skip the min-maxing a little bit. I'm gonna go with something that just makes sense for my character, and I think I'll get torturing. I think for like the henchman, brawl of the operation, I think it makes sense for him to know torturing.
Excellent.
Someone with
Um,
But pirates, yeah.
quick heads up on torturing. Did you read the little blurb on it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Like
you
it's
read
not,
the blurb.
it's not always 100% reliable to get someone's information with it.
Right.
Obviously.
You can make someone talk. You can't necessarily make someone tell the truth, but you can get
Yeah.
answers. Yeah.
Yes.
And then everything will be some role play from that situation. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know the Thieves Handbook, Neil? There's some like interesting weird items. Can I maybe have some of these?
I generally avoid all the handbook stuff because they get wildly out of hand and broken, but tell me what you're thinking.
Well, it's just items. It's no like abilities or anything like that.
what?
Like there's like like a little tube with like a hidden dagger in it that you can like shoot out a dagger. Something like
dagger?
That. Or like yeah, like for a surprise like dagger attack. It's like hidden.
A tube?
What?
Let me find the thing.
Yeah, because a tube with the dagger
like a
that you shoot out
bow.
doesn't sound. That sounds
But not
weird.
like a dagger.
Sounds perfect.
The fuck is the tube dagger?
Where is it?
Just so I understand the spell stuff, I get base 1 spell for my class at level 1, and then I get more based on my wisdom, right?
Yes. So at first level, you would normally just get 1 spell slot, but because of your wisdom, you would get an additional 2. So at first level, you could cast 3 first level spells. When you hit second level, you get an additional 1, so you could cast 4 first level spells. When you hit third level, you would normally have 2 first and 1 second, but because of your wisdom, you'd have 4 first and 3 second.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So right now I have 3 spell slots of level 1s?
Yes.
Gotcha.
You put a 17 in there?
16.
Oh.
So Neil, it's called to find it, Thieves Handbook, and then it's Chapter 5, Self-Protection in Combat, Death Knife. It says, this sinister instrument can appear to be a bladeless knife, but is more often disguised as something more innocent, such as a case for a comb, spectacles, or a quill pen, a tool of some sort, etc. The disguise won't fool close inspection. However, the blade of the knife is within a barrel inside the handle and is spring-loaded. The knife is triggered by pressing a catch on the handle. The blade shoots forward with considerable force. Does the same damage as a normal dagger. Obvious advantages, surprise, etc., etc.
You said chapter 5. What was the page number? Or
Self-protection in combat is the section, and then it's Death Knife.
Death Knife.
Kind of makes it sound more crazy than it actually is with a name like that.
Let's read. It's an instrument, but...
You know what, Nick? I'm going to go on a limb and say he's not going to give it to you.
Yeah. Other things are maybe like there's like shoes with fucking knives in them, like a bladed shoe.
So you guys might be able to answer this. Which spell slots, right? So I have 3 right now. Let's say I wanted to use like a spell twice. Does that mean I have to prepare it twice?
Yes.
Gotcha. Right. Okay, I'm fully on board. It's slightly different from the D&D I've played, but I get it now. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
That's what we're here for.
Okay. I'm good. I think. And do I just get to pick the level 1 spells that I want, Koibu?
We'll
I get
talk
to
about
pick
it
5.
in just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
I'll
pick
wait.
5. You're gonna want read magic and detect magic.
And those aren't free.
Right. Those are 2 of the 5. And then we will pick a few other ones. I think the whole list is open for you, but let me double check my notes. So Nick, what I'm seeing here, this weapon is basically it's a concealed blade. Essentially,
yeah, concealed dagger. Yeah.
The only thing that I'm seeing here that is weird is you get 1 additional damage on your first strike.
You can remove that.
Sure. Otherwise, this is just a concealed weapon. This is like a spring-loaded knife.
Yeah.
So The section where it's talking about making backstab attacks with it it's not really a special ability. It's just you have surprise, and it's easier to surprise an opponent with a weapon when it's concealed. So it doesn't impose any specific backstabbing mechanics. It just allows you to conceal your weapon more easily. So this is fine. It's just a spring-loaded knife. What is the?
I'm gonna call it spring-loaded dagger.
Yeah. Did it have a cost associated with it anywhere?
Oh, probably yeah.
I'm not seeing a table for prices.
I think there is. Let me find it. It's 12 gold.
Okay, that's perfect. That's 10 extra gold for the spring-loaded nature. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Can I have like a compass and a spyglass, or is that too much? I mean,
those are both hugely and wildly expensive. Those will be things you specifically get later.
I need to find these.
Yeah, your spyglass is like 1,000 GP.
I feel like I had a spyglass on the ship I stole, but maybe it's just been lost in the sea. Same with the compass. No compass.
Yeah, you probably won't really need a compass very often, and I don't think we're gonna have common compasses. Lodestones are gonna be few and far between, and compass technology is in its infancy, so we will definitely not start with one.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not going to be... Our tech level is not so much like late Renaissance as it would be like medieval period. And even that technology is like different if you're in, the top of Norway or, over in Tunisia or wherever, right? So...
yeah.
When did we get reliable compass technology?
No idea, actually.
Let's see. Chinese might have had compasses in the 12th or 11th or 12th centuries. Western European figured it out in the end of the 12th century.
So because this is...
but these weren't magnetic compasses. These were different types of compasses. Okay.
Because this opposes enchantment and charm, I am not going to have detect magic, correct?
Detect magic should be divination.
Okay, maybe there's two. Hold on.
Oh, there are two detect magics.
There are two.
I've been fussing with the spell list, yeah. And so there's like an enchantment version where you snort your dust. You enchant some dust and then you inhale it into yourself to give yourself some vision. But I think the base detect magic is just, it's divination.
Cool. Is there a way to filter out enchantment and necromancy on this page or not? I think you'd have to add another one for dimensionalist.
Let's see if anyone else already opposes those two. Maybe there's another class that happens to. Is that divination and enchantment and necromancy?
Enchantment and necromancy, yeah.
Okay. There's not. I can make a spell list for you, though.
Thank you.
You are what is your specialization called?
It is dimensionalist.
Dimensionalist. Whew.
Do I add the non-weapon proficiencies that I picked to my character sheet?
Please, yes.
All right.
It was enchantment and necromancy that you are restricted from, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then if I change these capitalizations, this file should work.
I should never be using a weapon, right, Nick? Like drastic times.
Well, at the start of the campaign, you might have to.
Yeah. Oh,
Get
you're
a
thinking
sling.
bow.
You can't use a bow as a wizard.
Oh, you're just not allowed.
Just no
Yeah.
bows, yeah.
Oh.
Sling is what you want to do.
Sling, dagger, staff, club. I think those are pretty much it. Staff, sling, maybe.
I guess
There should now be, if you refresh the page, there should be a dimension list added at the end of Transmuter for you.
amazing.
I think it is accurate as well. Yeah.
I mean, I'd think about sling rather than staff. I mean, do you really want to get in melee?
Yeah, sling's just so cringe, Nick.
It's not. It's quite cool.
You can Google what a sling looks like.
It's like a weapon of war in Roman times.
I mean, the story of David and Goliath is one of slings versus giants.
Yeah.
So cringe.
Why is it? Why is it
I
cringe?
won't do it. I can't. I just can't. I don't know why, but I can't. I can't bring myself to throw pebbles at people, Nick. That's
You're
just not my
cringe.
character. That's
That's
just not
fine.
happening.
Are you gonna hit him with a stick instead?
Next orc character do, it'll be great.
I don't know. I gotta think about it. Okay. It's very
Stick-
soy.
Stick is a great weapon. Everyone loves stick.
It's the classic weapon. That's the OG weapon.
Stick is
Yeah.
what our ancestors used 100,000 years ago. It's great. If it's good enough for your ancestors, it's good enough for you.
Can I get marbles, Neil? Or ball bearings would maybe be. more
Yeah, I think
appropriate.
marbles is actually probably better than ball bearings. I think it's probably easier to. Well, I don't know. Yeah, one of the two. There should
Go
be a
with
price
marbles.
list for them somewhere.
And
so-
chalk is easy to come by. Right?
Chalk is easy peasy, yeah. Ooh, since we're talking about buying equipment, we should roll for how much money we have. This is always a fun part. And then you can decide how much gear you want to buy.
I feel like we've already used up our luck.
Maybe. Hopefully. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter because you just scrap all that equipment, Nick. You guys are going to be surviving a shipwreck and washing up on shore with literally nothing. So
Yeah.
scrap all your gear. You'll start with the clothes on your back and fuck all.
No weapons or anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys.
I
We're
just-
gonna start with the campaign with you guys washing up on shore, basically like whatever clothes you have on you, and literally nothing else because your ship will have sunk.
So just my armor?
No, no armor.
Not even that. Okay.
No.
Right.
I think I'm a no armor, no weapon brawler.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you're perfect. You don't need weapons. Yeah.
Let's do a quick check-in, Mr. Mooton. How's your proficiencies coming?
Non-weapons are done. I'm waiting on the
Nice.
weapon proficiency though.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. These are like all int stats things, yeah? Nice. Love it. PotatoMcWhiskey, how are your
Hello.
non-weapon proficiencies coming? Did you get everything you needed? Are you
Yeah, I think I
satisfied?
have all my proficiencies picked. I'm just working on my spells right now.
Great. On your weapon proficiency section of your character sheet, you'll see that there's that column called base and a column called adjust, right?
That's for non-weapon proficiencies, yeah?
Right, for the non-weapons.
Yep.
So each of your weapon, not all of them, but most of your weapon proficiency, your non-weapon proficiencies will have a slight variation. So your healing pulls from your willpower, your wisdom willpower, but there's a modifier to that already. So if you look at the non-weapon proficiency table, you'll see there's a modifier, and like next to healing, it says -2. So in the base column, you're going to want to put a -2 for your healing proficiency. When you make a proficiency check,
Gotcha.
it's based on your stat, and then there'll be, depending on how hard that skill is, there's like a negative or a positive modifier to it. So that goes in the base column. The adjust column is if you want to get better at something, you can like, let's say you wanted to be a better seaman. You could take 2 proficiency slots in seamanship and get a +3 to your seamanship modifier. So the adjust
Gotcha.
column
Sort
is
of like
for when
becoming
you
an expert at a weapon, right?
Exactly. So if you ever want to get better at something, you add extra slots to it, and then we modify that in the adjust column. So take a look at your base column and make sure that those modifiers account for your proficiencies. That should be
Brilliant. And,
the same for all of you.
So, I know all of the spells that you linked me, or do I have to pick, like, How many I know?
As a cleric, your patron will be the one giving you these spells, and every day when you memorize your spells, you get to pick which ones you want. So you'll know
Awesome.
all of the first level ones, the ones with the one in the upper left corner.
Oh, so I could just like stop scrolling down then. All right, this simplifies my life.
Yeah. Because the list goes. I think your list goes up to 5th level spells right now.
Yes.
So you just worry about the ones with the one in the upper corner.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I can pick easy now.
Yeah. I think you've got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 spells to pick from. And depending on the individual day, you'll probably want to like adjust these things around a wee bit.
Yep.
Let's talk with Archie B. Alder.
What's up?
What is up? Same thing for you with the non-weapon proficiencies. Check to make sure
Yeah.
that there's not a modifier for any of them.
Hold on.
Is there for any?
Tumbling has none. Torturing has none. Seamanship has the +1 modifier, right?
I think so.
And
Seamanship,
then-
yeah. So you'd mark a 1 in base for seamanship, and then swimming,
Oh,
I think, is
right,
also
right, right.
base. Yeah, no modifier. Cool. Captain Nick, you've done the same thing, right? You've already taken care of your modifiers, your base.
Yep, I think I'm done. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Wait,
Reverse
sorry.
these.
What do I put? Where do I put the modifier?
Under base. That's
yeah,
the
got it. Okay, cool.
base adjustment. And not Captain, MrMouton, you've already also taken care of this. Wonderful. You're still doing your
Yeah, I
weapon
think I'm done now.
proficiencies? Great.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Go with stick, my friend. Always go with stick.
The issue is I don't feel like losing an 18-hit character, so I may go sling.
Oh, okay. Or dagger. You can throw a dagger.
And throw daggers. All right. We'll go dagger, and we'll just toss daggers.
Dagger is just sharp metal stick.
Sure.
It's also, it's a subtype of stick proficiency.
So
It's
all
great.
just sticks at the end of the day.
I might as well just go spear then, yeah? It's just a stick with a dagger on the end.
It's just,
I
it's
mean,
too big
basically,
of a stick
it
for you to
literally is.
handle. You're
Too big,
used to
too big.
handling smaller sticks.
My 12 strength can't handle it.
All right, next up for all of our players, it is time to roll for handedness. This is a D10 roll that you're going to make. A 1 through 8 means you're right-handed, a 9 means you're left-handed, a 10 means you're ambidextrous. If you want to
Big.
pick to be left-handed, you can just pick to be left-handed as well. I don't care. Ambidextrous you have to roll for and get fucking lucky, Mr. Mooton.
Big.
Jesus.
Nice, man.
Wait. oops,
Slash
that's not how
R
you
or
do it.
slash rolling.
Yeah. Ooh, close.
Oh
Yes.
my
Oh my
god.
Yeah. I wanted that big time.
Okay.
What does this mean now, Neil? Is my offhand now at +2?
Your main hand is at no penalty.
Your main
No,
hand
your
is-
both hands are at -2, is it? Both hands is
No,
treated
no,
as a
your main
primary
hand
hand.
is 0, I thought.
It should be 0 with 2 weapon
If-
fighting
oh.
and high dex and ambidextrous. It
With
should be
2
at least-
weapon fighting and ambidexterity, you will have no penalties with your offhand, correct?
Yeah, you'll be at 0-0. That's what Anton has.
Yeah. Potato McWhiskey. No, not Potato
Good day,
McWhiskey.
sir.
Pokemon champion.
Yes.
Did you end up using that last unknown slot for something?
I think I used it for the tumbling. I had 3 non-weapon proficiencies, and then I put an extra one in there.
Excellent. Okay, cool. You will also be dual wielding because you're going to be punching. So the normal rules when you're dual wielding don't apply to you. Yep. If
Okay.
you are specialist in style A, the character is unarmed. But if the character is unarmed and unarmored, he can make an extra attack each round with his other hand, provided that it's free, without the usual penalties for 2-weapon fighting. So you don't need to worry about ambidexterity or 2-weapon fighting. You can just beat the shit out of people with your hands without having to put extra slots into it.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Great. I think it's time for hit points, everyone. And then after we roll hit points, I think it's time to sort out, character backstories and relationships, and we'll talk about what it means to be evil and all that fun stuff. But we'll do it after break. And before that, let's roll hit points. So, Nick, You rolled stats first, so I think you're supposed to roll hit points first. You are
Well,
roll
a
well,
fighter rogue.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't we take our break here? We'll come back
Okay.
from our break. We'll roll hit points. We'll talk about what it means to be evil, and we'll build out the rest of our stuff. So we will see you guys on the other side of our break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. We are going to roll some hit points and decide some levels, because we're not all starting at first level here. We're going to do some variable level starting. Mr.
Nice.
Mouton, you are at level 1.5, so halfway to level 2. I think Wizard's level at 2,500, so you will start with 1,250 experience points.
Cool.
Nick, you're going to start at level 2.
Nice.
So I think we need to start you with 2K in both classes, which actually puts you at level 2 fighter, level like 2.5 rogue, which is a
Love it.
little higher than I kind of want, but I think it's
I'm
fine.
gonna level slower than everyone else, though, right?
It'll be fine.
Your thief's gonna level faster, but
Yeah.
you will level.
So 2K for each of your classes. Pokemon, you're gonna start with at level 2 as well, so 2K experience for you. And PotatoMcWhiskey
I just
will
put that
start
in the character sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. And PotatoMcWhiskey is going to start at level 1. He's not here right
There you
now,
go.
so we'll deal with him later.
Noob.
MrMouton. It's time to roll hit points.
Am I rolling, D6?
You're rolling a d6 and you put 15 into con, right?
It's taking a +1.
It's d6 plus 1 hit points at first level. Okay, thank God.
Okay.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be one worse.
Could be one worse.
Nick,
All right.
you are level 2 fighter, level 2 rogue. So you're going to roll 2d10 plus 2d6, and then you're going to divide by 2.
2d8, no?
2d6. Rogues are
Same as a wizard?
d6s. Rogues are
Same as a wizard?
d6s.
Same as a
You
wizard?
think that he should be d4?
No, I think he should be d4. I should be d8.
d6.
I'll. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Plus two, right?
You have 15 con?
I do have 15 con.
Then 2d10 plus 2d6 divided by 2 plus 2.
2d10.
Wait, why do
So
you
I
get
roll-
+2 at 15 con?
Because
I'm
it's level
level
2.
two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should I roll it?
You know,
in
we
one
should
big
roll them
roll?
in. No. Individually, I think. Let's roll the d10 and then the d6 and then the d10 and the d6. I think that's the right way.
See, the
on.
real reason why I went multi-class is because it averages out my rolls per
Ah.
HP. You see.
Big
Okay.
numbers.
D10 first. Okay.
Ooh.
Could be worse.
Double my usual roll. Okay.
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 Yo. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So 2, 4, 6, 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, plus 2 is 7.5.
Those two average out to 1, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. That is nice. Okay, whatever, fine.
7.5 for you. Next up is Pokemon challenges. You are a level 2 fighter. You will roll 2d10 or 1d10 plus 1d10. And you also have
Classic.
high con. So you're gonna get +3 on top of each of these. So d10 plus 3, and then d10 plus
Right.
3. Ooh, 8 and
Okay.
4.
Oh my god.
Nice. Well, thank
Okay.
God for that.
Yikes.
17 con. So you will start with
No
12
armor, by the way.
HP. The HP goes on the combat tab of your character sheet.
Neil, right. How's about this for an offer rate? I'll re-roll, but I'll take a -1 at the end.
Yeah,
You want to
I mean, I'll
re-roll
do the same
all of
thing.
it and subtract 1, or you subtract 1 from each roll?
No. I'll re-roll all of it and take 1 from the final total.
No, that's
I'll reroll all of
ridiculous.
mine, Koibu, and I'll take 1 minus. Are you interested?
No. No, you
Well,
guys
I only
have
have one
amazing
reroll.
stats. You're good.
Okay, wait. What about -1 from each roll? Would you take that?
Nick, I don't want you to have 4 HP at level 1.
Let him. This would be good. This would be good, Koibu. It will be very funny. Let him. This is good.
But
No,
here's the
okay.
thing: is if it does poorly, we're never gonna hear the end of it. We'll
Yeah, but
never.
that's on him. We'll never let him hear the end of it. That's what it'll be.
Oh, wait, let me do the calculation. I think on average it would work out better, I think.
Yeah, it would.
Oh yeah, of course. You can't change your fate, Nick. It is what it is.
Cowardly now. I'm doing it just to see, okay?
Okay.
Alright, okay. I'm just doing it to see. So
Just
I'll
to
do it
see.
one big roll.
Non-binding rolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Non-binding.
a 10.
Okay, here we go. Look at that. Would have been so much better, Neil.
Yeah. Well, it would have been 3 points better.
Yeah.
It'd have been
That's
half
all right.
Half better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's fine. 7.5 ain't bad, Captain.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not bad. It's not bad.
Potato,
But
have you
I didn't see
arrived?
him.
No, potatoes.
We have grub and hotness to do as well,
Yeah,
so we
let's
can
do it.
that now.
Mr.
Nick, what do you
Mutin.
want your hotness? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
like-
You go ahead. Take it away.
I think like 16 hotness.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Just make it an 18. Why not? Why
No.
not? If you're going that high.
Realistic.
Fuck it.
I'll 16.
Okay.
I'll roll for grub score though, Neil. 3d6.
Yeah.
Really
Sounds
not
nice.
40-61?
I think.
I'll take. This is my grub
Whatevers.
score.
Okay.
9.
Nice. So for those of you out there wondering what the fuck hotness and grub score are, grub score is your ability to appreciate food and wine and beverages. It's like how good your taste buds are, and it's possibly the most important stat in the game, for obvious reasons across the board. Hotness is how attractive you are from the outside, just like your
Wait, you
base
need to explain with the
hotness.
grub score though, because I still get it confused. Does high grub score mean you can enjoy shitty food, or does it mean that you've got
High grub
a
skill
palate
means you
where
have a
don't
higher
like-
appreciation for food. So you're going to enjoy things more. And you can interpret that in a lot of different ways. You could say that
Okay.
high grub skill means that you're like, world-class chef who can really appreciate all the things. Or you could say high grub score is like you've got the shittiest taste in the world. You love everything no matter what. You've never had food you didn't like. You're just a gluttonous hog. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret this grub skill stat. I like to go with the higher your grub score, the broader your taste is. And so someone with like a low grub score might be like a really like prissy
Pussy
French
eater.
cook who will only eat this one thing prepared in this one way because nothing else tastes good to them, and they like pass it off as if they're cool, but in reality they've just got a really shitty grub score and they're trying to like make themselves feel better for it.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation. And
I'm
hotness
going
is
with 40-61. I
For
changed
what?
my mind. Grub and hotness. I've swapped my mind, Koibu.
But you already rolled. You already made the
Yeah,
dice
well,
rolls. How
I
are you?
know.
No,
My mind
if,
was
if
fucked.
anything, Moots, you should roll us another d6 and add it on.
Wait,
as opposed-
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
take
you'd have
your
to add a
original
d6
rolls.
Yeah.
and modify your original
Yeah,
rolls
so
with
this
it.
is
Yeah.
for the 9 at the top.
Which is grub score, right?
Okay, so it's a
Just
12
grub
now.
score.
So now it's a 12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll
that's
take
fair.
that.
And then for the
Hotness is
hotness,
4.
Okay.
Okay. That's more. That's
No,
better.
it's 8.
I like
Yeah.
that.
8 hotness.
That's
Okay. Okay.
Beautiful.
That's good. Great.
Not 5 and disfigured. That's fair.
Nick, you chose a hotness because that's just a part of your character. You don't necessarily need to
Yes.
roll for it, so you just picked it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you rolled grub skill, did you? 10.
I did. I got a 10. Yeah.
Great. Pokemon challenges. Do you want to roll your hotness or do you want to pick your hotness?
I think I'd just pick it. I think he's like this just very big, bald, muscular guy. So if you're into that, you're into that. But a lot of people wouldn't be because he's a little bit too rough around the edges. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair. That's legit. You are going to need to roll your grub skill, and you can decide if it's
Alright.
3d6 or 4061.
40-61. 3-6 is just it's not good.
It's 2 RNG.
All right.
Ooh,
Oh wow.
that's very good.
That's high, right?
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so generally speaking, stats are between 3 and 18. So 10.5 is like a dead average. 8 to 13 is like 70% of the population is 8 to 13. That's like very average. So 14 is above average. It's like 85th percentile. Nice. PotatoMcWhiskey, are you here?
Hello. Yes, I am, sir. Hello. I've been here a few minutes.
Okay, well, it's time for you to roll your hit points and your hotness and your grub skill. You are starting.
I am excited.
You are starting at first level.
Yep.
So roll me a 1d8 for hit points, and if you have high con, you get to modify that. What is your con score?
16, so +2.
Yes, sir. D8 +2. Highest HP in the party, almost.
Nice.
Feels good.
On the cleric, baby.
That's right. I'm the tank now.
All right. Hotness. How attractive you are. Do you want to pick it or you want to roll it?
Let's roll. Let's see how we do. So
All right.
1d4, d1.
4061.
4061 or 3d6 if you want to play on, honor mode.
Clear mode. Let's see. Wait.
You have to drop. You didn't drop one of these, so we'll drop the lowest, which is a 4. So you have a hotness of 15. It's very good. A very attractive priest.
Real quick, does my grub score and my hotness, do those go in my character sheet anywhere?
Wherever you feel is a good spot to put them, so you can remember them. There's no official entry on the sheet.
It will almost never be useful.
They will always be important. You can't keep a straight face. Yeah, they're never useful, but they're important to know. So that is your hotness, and there's your grub skill. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That was pretty sick.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well done. Great. So we've got all the stats and stuff figured out. Let's talk about our characters. Now we're here to play a pirate campaign with evil characters, but what does it really mean to be evil? Because there's evil stupid, where you just like kill everything in your path and you leave no survivors and there's nothing left to roleplay with because you've just murdered everything. But that's not particularly fun, and it wears off. Like the novelty of it wears off pretty quick, and it involves a lot of like players backstabbing each other eventually, and it'll tickle your fancy for a wee bit, but that's not really good evil. Let's talk about some fun evil characters that we might be aware of. Like, I like to think of the Joker from The Dark Knight as evil because he's happy to murder folks. But like, what's really evil about him is he tries to destroy other people from within. Like the Joker in The Dark Knight is the sort of person who puts bombs on 2 ships and then gives controllers to each ship, so each ship has to decide to blow up and kill thousands of people, which will like morally destroy someone. The Joker is the person who takes Harvey Dent and turns him into a monster who is like the exact opposite of who he was. He knows the Batman won't kill anyone, and so he tries to get Batman to murder people and break his ethos. The Joker is evil, not because of who he kills, but because he corrupts the things around him, and he goes to great lengths to fuck shit up in like creative, self-destructive ways to kind of create the destruction and chaos going onward. Nick, do you have any concepts of like evil characters from cinema or media that we would have known about that you can talk about for a moment?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about who would be similar to my character. I'm trying to think of like someone represented on TV or film. There's got to be someone, but I'm imagining a character who is the kind of person you meet that's nice to your face, all smiles and laughs, but they wouldn't have any qualms about stabbing you in the back if it was for their best interest, or ripping you off in a deal. They'll charm you and make you think they're your friend, but then when the time comes, they'll have a plan to steal your shit and steal your wife.
Sounds kind of like a Captain Jack Sparrow figure here. Smiles, charms, flattery. Seems like a good guy,
no,
but he's
Captain
also
Jack
here to
Sparrow
steal all your stuff.
He is kind of a good guy, though, Captain Jack Sparrow.
I
feel
was
like
thinking more American Psycho for Nick, by the sounds of it. Just like,
Ooh.
yeah, maybe more. Like
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Bateman. No, because Patrick Bateman's like he's a bit weird, isn't he? He's like not socially very good, whereas my character's gonna be like, he's good at charming people. He's good at getting people inside.
maybe more cult leader then? That sort of a angle?
Yeah, sort of something like that, I guess. Yeah. It's got to be a good representation of this. I'm just trying to think through all the TV shows. Someone a bit like Tony Soprano, maybe.
More of a
People in
mobster
chat are saying
figure.
Littlefinger.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Littlefinger, yeah.
Littlefinger
Yeah,
is
something like
definitely
that.
an evil character. He's out for himself. He's willing to kill anyone to get there, but he's not just like murdering people. In fact, he goes out of his way to help people in order to use them later. Like he looks for
Yes.
the exploitable potential in each person, and then figures out how to use that to his best side. So he's
Yes,
not just gonna.
definitely that. My character's not about killing random people. Pretty much everyone has a use. You've just got to work out exactly how they can be useful to you.
That is good evil, or like interesting evil, because you might go out of your way to save someone's life who you fucking hate or who has been working against you, because if you can save your life, maybe they will like help you out, or maybe they'll feel bad and then switch, or their loyalties will adjust slightly. So I like that sort of approach to evil, or self-serving nature.
Yeah, I came up with some like ideals for my character. I don't know if maybe we'll do that later when we do backstory, but I come up with some like guiding principles, I guess. That would.
You want to give us one or two of them right now?
Yeah. So number one would just be like, what's in it for me? And then another one, real power is not measured in spells or steel, but in the number of men at your back.
Yeah, these are good.
Or a good lie is easier to believe than the truth.
And at your back. And you said that a good lie is what?
A good lie is easier to believe than the truth.
Yeah.
Sounds like my character and your character are going to get along.
Yeah,
Or
right.
fight a lot.
One or the other.
Right. Who else wants to give me an example of like an interesting evil character from media that us and the viewers might know?
Oh, actually, I thought of a really good one. My chat mentioned Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bonnell II.
Anyone else out there? Interesting evil characters.
I'm really struggling because I keep thinking of like, all right, what is like an evil purist sort of religious character, and I can only think of like really simple evil. I'm trying to think of like a kind of religious usurper. I'm trying to think of a book.
Kind of like Palpatine, I guess. Maybe.
Ooh, yeah, Palpatine is a good one.
He worked from the inside for a really long time until it was his time to take out like the current like religious people, institute his own rule or whatever. Or
Palpatine's a good one.
Yeah.
I think Thanos is a decent example, right?
Yeah, I was gonna go with. I was also thinking of Thanos or oh god, the name has come out of my head.
Thanos is the sort of character who has a vision for what the world ought to be and will do what it takes to get there. And he's not necessarily, well, I know his goal is like, kill half the population, but it's not like, I'm going to kill you. I want to kill you. I have something against you. He's not like a murder hobo. He's more of like a visionary whose vision just happens to be something no one else is going to like, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get there and destroy anything. But like, it's not personal for him. It's like I have a vision that I need to make come true. Thanos is more of like a Joseph Stalin type character who's like, I've got this idea. We need to kill all of my population over here to make it happen. It's that sort of like
Ends justify
evil.
the means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sort of Thanos / Palpatine, angle that you've laid out there.
That's a good one.
Have any of you seen the Fargo TV show?
Yeah.
The first season. What's the name of the main villain?
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about, right? He's
Guy of
played
the
by
show.
Billy Bob Thornton.
yeah, Billy Bob Thornton.
Lauren Malvo. He's almost like one of those villains who's like a force of nature, kind of. Like the way he describes his own character in the show is like, the old pirate maps used to have spots where it says there would be dragons, and he's one of those dragons. Like, he's just a force of nature. He's something that's there that you can't get past, that will always be there to just wipe things out, right?
Sounds good.
And yeah.
So Is that who you? How would you describe that? Like Nick, I really liked the ideals that Nick did. A couple of statements that helped like codify your character. Do you have any off the top of your head that you can think of that would help fit you in here?
Yeah, I have a few.
Yeah, what do you got, MrMouton?
My character views like the average person is a sheep who needs a shepherd, and one of his other core ideals is being bound is worse than death. Those are his two.
A sheep who needs a shepherd. And you said it's worse to be bound. What was that? The second one?
Being bound is worse than death. So like being taken like captive or whatever is like the ultimate dishonor.
Worse than death. Excellent. Let's talk. Motivations here. Some of these characters that we've talked about, the notion of evil, it has a lot to do not just with how they impact the world, but how they think about the world. So if you guys are going to be some evil characters, what sort of goals do you have? Is it personal wealth and gratification? Do you want to conquer an area? Are you trying to enslave people? What are some of these like individual, large-scale personal goals that will probably wobble a little bit as the campaign comes along?
My two were just make as much money as possible and be feared across the seas.
Money and fear.
Yeah, my character's is the Fountain of Youth. He wants to be free from like the chains of veracity that bind all mortal souls, so he doesn't want to die. And he wants to be free from that. So his big goal is to be free from death. So Fountain of Youth.
Nice.
For my character's motivation are mostly just motivated by following along and like loyalty. He's like a character who always has looked for like authority figures in his life, and he's like ex-military and everything is kind of hard for him to break out of that kind of life, so he kind of looks up to the captain as like the authority that he will always loyally follow, so that kind of never breaking that loyalty is like his highest ideal. And then he also just really likes being out on the sea. Like he loves the sea and really does actually dislike being on land, and if he could he would just like be out there at all times. Those are like the two big motivators for him pretty much.
So less a leader of evil and more of a devout follower, and will happen, if your captain says we're going to feed the poor, you'll feed the poor. If your captain says we'll murder the poor, you'll murder the poor, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So big on loyalty. Love it. What about you, PotatoMcWhiskey?
I think my character's two main motivations are firstly to find my lost brother, which is like a more personal thing, and then the second one is to just become powerful, like have a infinite wealth, infinite power, immortality, whatever that is. He just wants to be like the head of a religion or a king or some sort of way to have influence and power is like really a driving motivation to achieve his end.
Great. This is actually gonna work. You and I are gonna have to, we'll do some stuff for your character. I think we had talked before, and we might do like 2 solo sessions, or like 4 solo sessions broken up over 2 gameplay sessions or something, to kind of get a little bit of like backstory on these characters and do a like what they were doing before they all got shipwrecked sort of thing. I think this like personal desire for power, wealth, glory, fame, whatever it is, will roll really well into your interesting backstory that we've got to play with here. So I think that's great. I still want to talk about evilness just a little bit more, because it's hard to do an evil campaign, and I want to set us up on the right foot. So let's talk about evil-ish solutions to problems like this. Party's gonna start with basically no stuff, right? You're all like washing up on shore, so you're gonna need to get some things. At least you're gonna need weapons. You're probably gonna need money. At some point you're gonna need a boat. You're gonna need food. You're gonna have nothing. You're gonna have to get everything. So aside from just straight up murdering people and taking their stuff, what are some creative, not lawful, not good solutions to getting your things? Does anyone have a good solution for getting some weapons for the party?
Blackmail?
How would you blackmail someone for weapons? Just, you know,
For
off the hook.
weapons,
Yeah, for gear.
I'm not sure. You know, like take someone hostage or something like that. I mean, it's easier to blackmail for money than it is for weapons.
That's true.
You know,
Then-
for money, you could like find out something about someone and blackmail them about releasing the information. You know, or
And-
you don't even need to find out something that happened. You could just frame them and convince enough people. You could threaten them and say, "I'll be able to convince people that this is true."
And then
So
with that
you better
money,
do
you
what I
can buy
say.
your weapons, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't leave any body count behind, and it leaves you with an interesting NPC that might have a grudge against you, or maybe you can manipulate in the future again, or maybe the people that you turned against them can somehow then become allies for your own purposeful nonsense. Yeah.
You could also rely on the friendship of strangers and then rob them in the night. You know, like, oh, we've been shipwrecked, we're homeless, we're hungry, can we stay in your tavern?
Talk
And
your
then
way
when
into
the rest of
someone's
you, like,
house, and then when their back is
Steal all that
turned.
shit, yeah.
It's very little finger. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's see.
Deception and lies are another good one. Like we could pretend to be, you know, a representative of a company or band or something, and be like, "Hey, listen, we're on this thing. We got shipwrecked. Super need like a couple of weapons so that we can get to this outpost." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. I want to push us into a non-murder hobo approach, because it's really easy for campaigns that are intended to be like evil characters or less upright characters to quickly slip into murder hobo. And certainly some people are going to have to die for this campaign to work. You know, you're going to have to murder a lot of people. It's going to happen, but I want to make sure we get off on the right foot where it's not just death for no apparent reason. You know, you'll have guards to kill, you'll have people to kill, but also look out for those folks who are going to be useful to you. And speaking of folks who are useful to you, let's talk about the structure of our ship and crew. Granted, we haven't gone through the first episode or any of the like setup for this, but we sort of have a format already. We've got a wizard who was originally from the area that we're campaigning in, who was sent away. Why were you sent away here, MrMouton, from the Dardennes?
I believe that my character was sent away because he was born a wizard, and his parents wanted a better life for him because they saw that he was magically inclined. So they put him on a pirate ship and shipped him off to Arcadia to flee the White Cleric, because they are massacring anyone who doesn't fit in their certain subsect of magic, it seemed like.
Right. So the White Prince is the guy who runs the Dardennes. He is a cleric of Astaire, the god of like law and order and, you know, putting things together, sort of like a Zeus or Odin type figure, like the head, the All-Father sort of character. And the White Prince is controlling things in this guy's name, in Astaire's name, and he's built a society that functions really well and is very well ordered, but it means that if you're going to be a spellcaster, you must be serving the state. And if you do not fit into the narrow band of people who can be spellcasters and serve the state, then you are a threat to the state, and we get rid of you without, you know, you're just gone. So you were born and you were too smart. You got 18 int. That is way too high of int for the White Prince to have you around. It is known that the potential wizards that are born who have too much potential are gotten rid of. And the White Prince has a certain threshold at which anyone with too much potential above this, we're not going to bother letting into society. We want to cap our wizards, so at most they can reach 4th level, 5th level, 6th level. There's a level mark in there somewhere. So anyone who's got intelligence and spellcasting abilities that would allow them to level higher than that gets gotten rid of. So you were too brilliant. Your parents could tell the White Prince was going to come and get rid of you. You know, you were just a gifted child, way too gifted. So they sent you away. One of our other players also had been into the Dardennes before. Who was that?
I think I had been here before. I was on a trading expedition. I signed up as a sailor, you know, for work, and we got captured by pirates. Me and my brother were on the ship, and we got separated at some point, and I made my way back to the homeland,
Mhm.
and then I went to find my brother again.
Right. So how long has it been since you've seen your brother?
I'd say 2 to 3 years. I think. Of course, time passes differently when you don't have like a stable thing, so it'd be around that.
Okay. 2 to 3 years since you've seen your brother. And you don't know where he is. He's just somewhere out in this region, right?
Yeah, I know. I managed to escape from the pirates, but he did not.
Mm-hmm. And does your brother have anything of note? Like, is your brother a wizard? Is your brother 10 years older than you with 6 arms? Like, who is your brother? Do we know that we know about?
I think my brother. So I think the idea I was going for is we were like Loki and Thor. I'm like the evil brother, and he's the good brother.
Okay. The good
So
brother.
I'm trying to find my good brother because you can't we're like Joker and Batman. I can't exist without my good brother.
Right. Okay. Love it. That leaves us with Nick and Pokemon challenges. You guys know each other from before the campaign starts, right? What's your relationship like, the two of you?
So we were working in the Navy for Eridon for many years together. I think my character was some sort of minor officer on a ship, and Jan's character was, someone who was in my group, but like just your average sailor dude. And then when things all go to shit in Eridon and the military command falls apart, we just end up as criminals on the coast in Weatherlight, hanging around there for a few years, doing our thing. He's in my crew. I've got a small group of guys that I work with doing various criminal enterprises. When an opportunity comes up to steal a ship that's being made by a newly crowned king, and so we try and steal a ship, and we get the fuck out of Dodge, decide to sail all the way across the sea to another continent, sell the ship, become rich, live life as kings. Unfortunately, we run into some troubles along the way and end up shipwrecked with these bunch of crazy people.
Pokemon challenges. Do you want to tell us how, one of the more, what was the moment at which you went from being like Nick's friend to he's my leader and I'm following him? When did that loyalty kick in?
I think it was probably when we were in the Navy together, because I'm a person who looks for that kind of authority and is kind of guideless without it. So if there's someone who exhibits a lot of authority and a lot of charisma, I'll usually tend towards that, follow them.
Okay, so you guys have been
kind
close since you were in the Navy together.
Yeah,
well, I think for sure. Yeah, he's always been someone that I've very much respected.
When things started to go south, knowing how good of a fighter this guy was and how he was willing to basically do anything he was told, I think my character's gone out of his way to make sure that he ends up as an ally once we get settled in our criminal business.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And how did the whole party get together on this ship that was headed towards the Dardanelles? Clearly, 2 of you were already working together, and the other 2 of you, how'd you all end up on the same boat?
Well, my thinking was that people were trying to flee Arcadia from Redport, and I knew this. So I thought if I steal the ship, I can just pick up a bunch of refugees in Redport, make some extra money since I'm sailing away anyway. And they just happened to be 2 of the people who were in Redport on the docks on the day that I brought the ship there.
Yeah.
Okay. That will work for us. MrMouton, not Mr. Moon, Nick, where was your ship initially headed? You weren't headed specifically for the Dardanelles, were you?
No, I think we were going to Solemn, but it sounds like maybe Moon's character and PotatoMcWhiskey's character wanted to go to the Dardanelles, but I think perhaps I was just willing to lie and say to different people that we were going to different places just to get the money, because it was kind of a rushed thing, like we landed the dock, right? Hey, we're leaving Arcadia, get on board. And then somebody comes up like, where are you going? Are you going to the Dardanelles? Yeah, we're going to the Dardanelles. Come on. And then what are they going to do once we get to Solemn?
Excellent.
We're on the ship by then.
The Dardanelles are on the way to Solemn, so that makes perfect sense that you're headed there. These other people might be headed here, and then the ship sinks and you guys all end up together on this island.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. So let's see. We've got a goal for MrMouton, or some goals for MrMouton, some goals for Nick, money and fear, loyalty for Pokemon, power, wealth, glory, fame for McWhiskey. Great. Okay. Do we have anything left on our character sheets? Yeah. Okay. So that we'll leave backstories alone for just a wee bit here, unless someone has something they really want to say. No. Cool. Let's go to the combat tabs of our character sheets, everyone, and we're gonna have to fill out a couple of key details here. The first things are the saving throws, which you're gonna see on the combat side on the left. It's one of the yellow boxes. From top to bottom, we're gonna fill these out. So, MrMouton, you are a wizard. From top to bottom, your saving throws are 14, 11, 13, 15, 12.
Got it.
For record, a saving throw, you want to roll equal to or higher than your number. So if someone casts a spell at you that allows for a saving throw, you would try and pass a saving throw versus spell. For MrMouton, that would be a 12 or higher on a d20. Next up
So lower is better.
The lower saving throw is better, correct. The higher die roll is better, yeah. Nick, you are a fighter rogue. So I'm going to give you your fighter saves, and then I'll give you your rogue saves, and you'll just take whatever's better.
I'm pretty sure the rogues ones are just better on everything.
Okay, well, you're right. They are. 13, 14, 12, 16, 15.
Yep.
Great. Pokemon, you're going to get fighter saves. Top to bottom, it is 14, 16, 15, 17, 17.
Got it.
And PotatoMcWhiskey, your saving throws are 10, 14, 13, 16, 15.
10, 14, 13, 16, 15. Got it.
Yes. So these are going to be your base saves. Most of the time, you just make regular saving throws. There's that little purple circle next to your things. If you click that, it'll roll a saving throw for you, and it'll, do all the math and tell you whether you succeed or not. Easy peasy. There are a couple of things that will modify your saving throws. First is your wisdom or willpower stat. You're going to notice on your wisdom willpower stat that there is a mental defense adjustment right after your wisdom. So any spell that targets your mind will be modified by this. So like a fear spell is specifically mind affecting. Illusion spells of most types are specifically mind affecting. Some sorts of like hold person spells are mind affecting. So in the situation where there is a mind affecting spell or spell type effect coming on, you're going to have to remember on your own to apply your mental defense adjustment modifier, and then you just add it to the die roll. So you'd roll d20 plus 2 for Soul?
Fail.
Fail. Oh my god, okay. Oh, you bastard. Fail. Fail? Sail?
It's like sail.
Yeah, it's like sail.
Okay.
It's an Irish word, so.
You clerics get a +4 to mind saves already? I can't remember.
No.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking
just from
it
your
out.
high mental defense adjust. I think if you have high enough int, you're immune to certain types of illusions, but I think you need 19 int for that. Yeah. Okay, so that
Sorry,
will
I'll
come to
plus
effect
an
here.
item before Nick.
If you get a fucking +1 inside, I'm gonna lose my shit, dude.
Yeah.
The rich get richer, Nick.
The next block on our character sheets is going to be AC. So your natural AC is 10 for everybody. The dexterity field should automatically apply. So if you've got high dex, it'll give you a dexterity modifier right away. Armor, shield, magic probably won't come into play very much. I think most of us won't be armored most of the time. But your armor field is modified by the blocks below you. So if you look below those yellow, blue, and red boxes, there's 2 horizontal lines of red. The bottom one says armor and AC type. You can add in there piece of armor. You can say what its AC is, or what its magical AC is, or what sort of bonus it gives you to dexterity. And there's a checkbox to be equipped, and that way you can like quickly do your armor as needed. Weapons are going to be very similar. There's a field. You can just add more and more weapons or remove them as needed. And that's going to be... We should probably fill that out right now, actually. So everyone should fill out their weapons. And I'm going to specifically work
But we
with
don't have any
Pokemon.
weapons.
Pokemon's got some weapons.
His fists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Pokemon. Where's Pokemon's character sheet? Here it is. We're going to fill out your weapons together. So we're going to do a punch. You get 2 attacks every round with your fists, 1 with your right hand, 1 with your left hand, and then you get an additional attack every other round. So I'm going to say 2.5 attacks. So the first round you get 2, second round you get 3. You are specialized, so you get a +1 bonus to hit with your fists, and your fists...
+2 from tumbling.
Ooh, you're right. So you get a +3 to hit from your fists, and you get a +2 to damage because of your specialization.
All right.
He gets strength damage too, right?
Yeah. Let's take a look
And
at
he's level
your...
2. So it's a +1.
Your strength is 17, so you get a +1 to hit from that, and a +1 to damage from that. That +1 to hit is going to apply to everything, though. So we're going to do something slightly more complicated with your hit bonuses. There's that red box to the right and up a little bit that just says hit adjust.
Yes.
So from level, put a 1 in there, because you're second level, so you get a +1 to hit from being level 2.
Okay.
And then in that area where it says other source, add no, don't add anything to that because it's already applied naturally. Never mind, you're good. So just +1 from level. Yeah. So your basic attack bonus, which you'll see at the very top, is +2. That's 1 from level and 1 from your high strength. So you always have +2 to hit. Your punch has an additional 3 attached to it, and that is from your, punching related specific attack rolls. And these 2 numbers will be added together. So if we make an attack roll with your punch, you're going to be rolling at D20 +5. Although it didn't roll it for some reason. We will fix that. Interesting. I'll fix it later. It's fine.
Okay.
So that's going to be how it goes for you. Similarly, you can kick. So that's going to be 1 kick per round. You have a bonus to kick of 2, which is from your tumbling, and your kick does D6, and you have 2. You have 1 to damage from your strength, and your punch has an extra 1 to damage from your strength. Cool. Your type
So in theory, in
is
the future, he
bludgeoning.
could get like fifth weapons,
What do you mean?
like brass knuckles or something. Like magic
Totally.
brass knuckles. In theory.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If he gets brass knuckles, I think they do. Brass knuckles do D4 damage.
Okay.
So, most people's punches do D2 damage, and half of it is temporary. When you are a specialized pummeler, like PotatoMcWhiskey over here, I'm sorry, like Pokemon
mean
Challenges
Pokemon.
over here, your fists go up by a point. So instead of doing D2, you do D3 damage. You're allowed to hit anyone of any size, because normally, like, if you punch someone who is a size larger than you, it doesn't really do anything. Like, you can't punch a giant to death with normal fists, unless you're a fighter who's like, that's your specialization.
Yeah.
So you can do damage to any size creature, and you do not provoke attacks of opportunity when striking with unarmed fists. This is kind of a key thing here. If someone's got a weapon,
You just gotta say.
right, they're just lying around, right? So if someone has a weapon and you're fighting against them, their weapon is long. So if you're making an unarmed attack against somebody who's got a weapon, they've got some reach on you. So they're going to be able to strike you first. So for most people who aren't you, anytime you make an unarmed attack, if you're trying to tackle someone, if you're trying to punch someone, if you're trying to kick someone, it provokes a free attack against you. Because you are a specialist fighter who specialized in unarmed combat, you can avoid that attack of opportunity when you make unarmed attacks, but that is going to be your domain and your domain alone. So that is super useful to know. There's a whole bunch of crap about blocks and disarms and pulls and trips that we'll need to talk about, but we'll probably do it off screen because it would be boring for everyone else to listen to. So that is good to know. In fact, I'll probably actually have you read like a chapter out of this book to figure out your complicated character.
Perfect.
Does anyone else need to add weapons yet? Probably not. No one else
I've added
has.
mine anyway. But
Okay.
Just
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And no
Why
one
doesn't
needs
this
to add
work,
armor.
honestly? If you look-
Yeah, I think there's probably just a typo somewhere. There's probably an extra space that it's treating as white space rather than as a line break. I will get it fixed before our campaign starts.
Quickly, so the spells that I get at level 1, I'm getting 5,
Yeah.
and they are Read Magic.
Wait. You're not having to roll.
No, you just picks 5 at level 1.
What the hell?
No, it's always been.
But Neil, I failed Magic Missile 3 times at level 1. I still wasn't
Well, you
allowed to
didn't
pick it.
pick it, did you?
I did pick it, yeah. Neil made me roll for all the spells I wanted to pick. It's fine, I'm not upset about it. It's fine. Also, okay, that's fine.
What are the spells that I automatically get that add on to the 5 again?
Detect magic, read magic, and then you get 3 others. Yeah.
And that does that include the dimensionalist spells as well?
No. Tell me about the dimensionalist. Tell us about the dimensionalist. What do you get for being a dimensionalist?
So the first 3 spells that you get are Detect Phase, Enlarge and Reduce, and Gaze Reflection.
Ooh.
Those are the 3. And then I'm barred off from the other stuff, and it seems like dimensionalists are all about dealing with other planes and jumping around. So in the future, I'll have spells that can help me jump around. And at 8th level, I'll be able to disappear into a pocket dimension once per day.
Yeah, that's nice. So trying to find the dimensionalist here for you. Oh, mage, song mage, geometer, artificer. Probably after artificer. Let's see. Alchemist. Why am I not seeing dimensionalist? Ah, here
It's
it
in
is.
the
Yeah. Dimensionalist magic is opposed by this. You said you get 3 spells for free? Gaze reflection and some...
Those are the spells that I have under the dimensionalist thing.
I don't think you know that for free.
Free. I think
Oh,
those. Yeah.
those are dimensionalist
Sorry,
school spells.
Those are
Got
the
it.
school spells that I have as an extra spell daily, if that makes sense.
No, I don't understand. What does that mean?
When you specialize, you can cast a spell of your specialization. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those spells are the ones I would have as an extra.
Okay, cool. I'm just having trouble finding that in the rule book. I totally believe you, but do you get other things as you level up, or what's the dealio going on here?
It just says like 8th level, so nothing until. I can read like the other levels if you want. Hold on, I gotta find them again. It's in Purple Worm under Appendix 3, Wizard Spells by School.
Spells.
It's gonna be Spells and Magic, Chapter 1. And then
Wizard
Appendix 3.
characters. Appendix 3.
Yep, in the Spells and Magic.
Dimension spells. Oh, I see. Here we go. Okay, so detect phase, enlarge, reduce, gaze reflection. Do you still get a bonus chance to learn?
Let me read the Dimensionalist area.
On geometry, planar relationships. These things.
I would assume so, unless
I think so. Yeah.
it says otherwise.
Dimensional specialist gains the normal advantages for specialization described earlier in the chapter. Spells belonging to the School of Dimension are listed in Appendix 3. Okay, cool. So yeah, you get one first level spell that is whatever you want, and then one first level spell that is Detect Phase, Enlarge, Reduce, or Gaze Reflection. If you've learned them, so you should learn one of those, right? You gotta pick one of those for one of your first level spells.
And I can pick all three of them if I wanted. Yeah.
If you wanted, yeah. So, like other specializations, you get a plus 15% to learn things that are in your specialization, and a minus 15% for things outside of your specialization.
Do I have a 100% chance to learn these? Yes. Because I have an 85% chance to learn already.
That sounds like 100% to me.
Is there a reason not to learn all three of these, Nick? I probably only want to learn two.
What are they?
Enlarge and Reduce, Gaze Reflection, and then one that I don't even know what it is.
I mean,
Detect
if you only have 5 spells, I don't think Detect Phase or Gaze Reflection are that useful.
Okay.
Take
Max
Enlarge,
spells-
Reduce, and then get that every day.
Yeah, I'm getting that one every day for sure. Okay, I'm taking Enlarge and Reduce then.
Great.
So I have 2 more that I can roll for. I'm going to be going for Magic Missile
Color Spray.
and Color Spray level 2, right?
Nope.
1.
Yeah, Magic Missile and Color Spray, yeah.
Based.
1d100, and I want above a 75.
85 or
Below.
You said I get-
Oh, you get minus 10 if they're non-school.
Is it minus 10
Minus-
or is it minus 15?
Minus 15, no?
I thought it was 15. Let me double check in the books. Yeah, minus 15. So if your base is 85, you want below a 70 on these next rolls that you make. So what are you learning here? Magic Missile?
I'm going to do... I kind of want to learn Armor, actually.
Clutch spell for all sorts of things.
Nick, is Armor okay?
Yeah, Armor's good, yeah.
Good.
Armor's good because it lasts longer than a day, so you can cast it in downtime, and then it's like a free spell.
Hey, I'm going for Armor. I want below 75.
Okay, below 70.
Oh no!
Yeah, because your base is 85, right?
Wait, he's got to re-roll it though, because he thought he was trying to get lower than 70.
I
No.
thought you were lower than 75.
No.
For Magic. Below 75, I guess. Or 70.
Below 70.
Okay. We got Magic Missile. That's...
Okay.
Nice.
We take those.
Great.
I just realized I need to do my thief skills, don't I?
Yes, you need to do your thief skills. And
How many points do I get when I level up? 30. And I
you start with 60. Yeah.
and get 30, so I've got 90 to put.
Yes. So Pokemon, you're pretty much set. What I'm gonna have you do while you're set is read through a section of the combat and tactics that talks about disarms. So let me find that for you here, because you're gonna need to know about you get so first let's link Purple Worm to you in the disco. Here you go.
Yes.
And then on the left side, you want to go player's option, combat and tactics, which is down near the bottom. It's in red.
Yes.
Then you're going to want to go to chapter 5, unarmed combat,
Got it.
martial arts, and then martial arts procedures. And you've got style A, B, and D,
And D,
was it?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So in here, it'll give you, a brief whatever for it. And then you're going to want to look at that free block. Yeah, you're going to want to look at blocking rules, which is going to be, again, in Combat and Tactics, Chapter 2, Combat Options, Attacking Options, Block. And you're going to want to read the area where it says block. You're going to come into a word here. The word is called Thaco.
Yeah.
It's going to be confusing.
Ignore it.
Ignore it, yeah.
It's, yeah. Thaco is the 1980s way of doing combat attacks. I don't really know who came up with the idea. They were certainly high on something.
At least one thing.
At least one thing, possibly multiple things, or on like, multi-day binge of things when they came up with this system. We subvert it and get rid of it. So the way that we play, you make an attack roll, you add a number. The total is what your modified roll is, and if you roll equal to or greater than your enemy AC, you hit them. Very straightforward, makes a lot of sense. Thaco is your base attack stat, which starts at 20 and goes down to 0. 0 is good, 20 is bad. And you subtract from Thaco the enemy's AC, and then you try to roll above that. So don't worry about the Thaco, just read about the concepts of block, and then we'll talk about the specific mechanics of how it works later. But the general idea you'll want to know. And possibly also pull trip is probably another thing for you to be taking a look at. How all the attack options you're going to want to know because you're a brawler. Cool.
All right.
While you're looking at that, Potato.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just browsing my spell list, thinking about my character.
Spell list is exactly what I want to talk to you about. I have added a new tab to your character sheet called Spells. And it is here where you can add the spells from that list that I sent you. If you take a look at that list, and in the upper left corner, there's like a 1 for the spells. If you click on that 1, it should copy something to your clipboard without you noticing it.
Right.
Yeah. So what you want to then do after you click on like the 1 in Bless, you go to your character sheet, you click underneath the spells area, under the first level spell slots, you click add, and at the bottom there's something that said JSON. Just put whatever's in your clipboard into the JSON, hit enter, and it'll insert the entire spell into your sheet for you. And that way you can add the spells to Roll20 without actually having to modify, to manually type all that shit out.
Oh my, that's incredible, because I was just looking at these spells and having to type all that out. Oof.
No. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So click the thing in the upper left corner, put it in the JSON slot, and then you can add your spells as you want. And then on the left side, you'll see there's like a section for casts. You can put like, I've got 2 casts of Create Water today, or I've got, 1 cast in Create Water today, or whatever. At the top, there's like a first level spell slots and a 0, and that's where you would put like, I'm first level, so I can learn 3 first level spell slots. And that way you can just kind of track in your head what you have potentially and what you have in the moment.
Yeah, gotcha.
Great.
And should I just go ahead and add all the spells because they're gifted to me by the god?
Yeah, I would add all of your spells. I don't think there's anything in here. I don't know. Yeah, I would add them all, but do what you want. If you don't want to add them all, then don't add them all. Add the ones that you think are going to be useful, whatever. I leave it to you.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll probably add the ones I think I'll use the most and then just keep
Definitely.
this sheet as a reference.
Definitely. Great. Okay. Mooten, you have your 4 spells?
Yeah, I failed a roll, so that means I don't get another, right?
No. You should get. You picked 2. You get 3, or you get 2 automatically. Read magic and detect magic, and then you pick 3. And you rolled for 2 of them, right? Shouldn't there be a third
got
one?
enlarge automatically.
Oh, right. You got enlarged, and then you rolled for 2.
And
Got
then
it.
I fucked up.
Cool. So you get 1 and 1 spell per day. You'll have enlarge. There you go. Cool. So this is a great point to see if anyone has any questions.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Would it probably be a good idea to input my unarmed skill, or can we just like roll that out easy? Like if we're starting without weapons.
Oh, you're unarmed punching? Yeah, totally. That's a great thing to add.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah. You will do 1d2 with your fists because you are not a specialist fighter, and you will have no attack modifiers to it. Next question is names. We've got a Sail, we've got Captain John Big Dick, and we've got Archie B. Alder, but we're missing a Mooten name.
His name is Nilrem. Nilrem.
Nilrem.
Yes.
Neil, okay, I want to bring up the idea. You know, if I've got a bandolier of daggers, would I really have no weapons? Would I really not have a dagger, like, on me? I feel like it's reasonable that you might keep hold of a dagger.
When your ship is sinking and you're struggling to survive?
Yeah.
I think
like
a
one
bandolier
dagger
of
on your belt
daggers
or
is
something.
very likely to all
Yeah,
slip
okay,
out
so
and fall
maybe
away.
that gets cut away, but like a
You
single
can have a
dagger?
dagger in your boot.
Yeah, in your boot, yeah.
Well, you're going to kick off your boots when your ship is sinking and you're in the water. So
That's true,
if there's
yeah.
daggers in your boots, they're gone. If there's a dagger in your belt, you know, you don't want to stab yourself while you're like in the moment
it
of
roll a
survival.
D100.
Sure, you roll a D100. If you roll a 90 or above, you get a dagger. If you roll
80,
a 1
80.
through 50 or 1 through 30, you drown instead because you tried to hold on to your dagger and it cost you your life.
1 to 30?
Yeah. Then you'll have to re-roll a brand new character because you died.
The chance of drowning is higher than the chance of holding onto the dagger.
That's the point, is that
Yes.
it's a bad idea to try and hold on to your dagger while you're drowning.
Alright, fine.
Don't roll this.
I'm not
roll.
rolling it. I'm not
Yeah.
rolling it.
Thank you. Yeah, the idea is that you guys had to, like, you know, save your lives because your ship was sinking, so everything else got lost.
Wait, just in case. God damn it!
Oh, you should have done it, Nick.
Fuck. I should have done it.
Yep.
Who could have known, though? Who could have known?
Cool.
Neil, real quick, I'm reading the pull and trip section, right?
Mhm.
It says you can only do this if you have a weapon that can snare someone's legs, though.
Right.
So I'm not really sure I understand.
So if in the event that you take the fighting style C, which you'll get another weapon proficiency at 3rd level, so you can at 3rd level then take that or use it for something else, then you can make a pull trip even without a weapon.
Got it. Okay.
And this
Oh,
is one of those
yeah,
things that might be useful for you.
Got it. Okay. I understand.
Yeah, so I think it's time for our second break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the area that we're going to be playing in. Even though we're going to do a session or two before the party lands in the Dardanelles, we're going to talk a little bit about the region. Some of you have been here before, so you would know a little bit about it. Some of you have been sailors, so you would know a little bit about it. And we'll just get a quick and dirty introduction to the region. But we will do that on the other side of our break. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. So, we're going to talk about the area we're going to be playing in. I'm going to bring up a map for us to look at together. Or at least, for Twitch chat to see, because you guys can't see what I'm showing you. So this here is our island section. The map isn't, complete or anything. But essentially, we've got 3 concentric rings of islands. And these islands are centered around a storm, or a storm is centered around them. The storm spins clockwise, and there is said to be a whirlpool at the very center of the center ring of islands. And so you've got the tides are constantly churning in a clockwise direction, but it's like an inward clockwise spiral. So if you're trying to sail in the Dardanelles, let's say you're starting out over here on this random island or whatever, and you want to sail inward, you actually have to sail in like a big clockwise circle all the way around. If you want to go inland, it takes a half rotation, more or less, to get to the next chain on the inside. And if you want to go out, it takes a full rotation. So if you are on, say this island right here that I'm waving my mouse over, you'll have to like rotate all the way out, and then you'll end up roughly on the island above it. You go in, it's a half rotation to go in, because since the tides pull towards the whirlpool, it's always easier to go in than it is to go out. Sailing out is more difficult. You got to go against the tide. Additionally,
So it's a bit like a solar system, right?
Yeah, it's a bit like a solar system. You can like skip just along the rings on the outside or in the middle or on the inside, no problem. And I've got a complex chart for measurements and time, so we don't have to worry about all that too much. The other part of this is that the islands towards the middle are larger, just in terms of landmass, also in terms of population, in terms of technology, and in terms of like center of the empire. Because the empire is the core 5 islands at the middle is where the empire really thrives. That's where all like the great buildings are, the great mages, the great temples, all the industry happens there. That's like the heart of civilization. The second ring is where, you know, there's 12 islands there. There's a lot of people. They're kind of big. The empire still has pretty good control there, but it's not like the heart of the empire. It's like, you know, it's not quite the edge of the empire, but it's kind of far out there. There's a little bit more room for lawlessness. If you've played EVE Online at all, like the center islands are going to be 1 sec, maybe like 0.9 sec. The middle ring, called the Midlands, is going to be closer to like 0.6 sec or 0.5 sec. Like there's law there. You can't fuck around. If you murder people, you know, people are going to come after you. There's going to be ships of the empire around. But like the proportion
like
of them
low
are
sec,
smaller. Yeah, it's lower sec.
Lower sec.
The outer ring is very low sec. It's like 0.1, 0.2 sec or something like that, where
sec.
the empire has a presence, but like they don't have a presence on each and every island. They've got like a couple of ships that rotate through, and some of the bigger ports there will have like an empire presence, but there's 60 islands on the outer ring. And so like maybe 5 or 6 of those ports have like a strong empire presence. And if you guys are on like Bumfuck Island over here, you know, maybe there's like an official from the empire who like helps keep logs of what's going on, but this island is more or less going to be controlled by their own local government, and the empire will like relate with them sometimes. So the further you out you are, the more independent the territories are, the less reach the empire has. The closer you are in, the more the empire is in charge, the more the empire is in control. Also, the closer you are, the faster the wind blows and the faster the ocean goes. And the further out you are, the slower the winds and the slower the tides. What were you going to say?
On the map, so these like dots are other islands that are yet to be
Right,
like,
these are
drawn
just
in yet.
placeholders.
Okay.
Vague
cool.
placeholders. Yeah. I'm about to link you guys a flag of the empire.
Nice.
Where is it hiding? Battleground maps, Dardennes. Here we go. So here is for Twitch chat. Gets a little clippy. And here it is for you guys. This is the flag of the empire, and you can see that it is
cool.
Basically like the islands themselves, the 5 in the middle, the 5 in the center, the 12 in the middle, and the 60 on the outer ring. And they're generally referred to as like the core islands or the central islands. The Midlands are always that middle section, and then the outer lands or the outer ring or the outlands, some sort of, you know, way far out there area. So if you are Pirates of the Empire, you're probably going to be sticking to that outer ring, maybe going to the Midlands from time to time where there's like a good score or there's something that you need to do. But if you ever go to that central ring, you're going to be in like a difficult situation. The Empire is strong. The Empire is plentiful. They have mages, they have clerics, they have ships with magic tools. They've got ships with magic oars and magic sails that can self-propel. They have, what did we call them? Roosts. There are at least three roost ships, and these are large ships that are specially designed to carry griffins, and they have specially trained griffin riders who can, you know, wheel and swoop and attack ships or attack regions. They're all the griffin riders are like level 7, level 8. The griffins and the knights on them have armor and barding. They're terrifying. There's also wizards and casters. So that inner ring is like, if you guys have watched Firefly, when they go and like rob the hospital on one of the core planets, it's going to be more like that, where if you get caught, you're probably not going to be able to fight your way out of a situation. The Empire is just too strong in those central islands. So keep to the outer ring, keep to the middle ring, only go to the center if you've really, really got something you need to do in there. But that's where all the best tech is and all the best mages and all the good stuff. Yeah, we are going...
That's where the good shit is.
Going straight there, right?
I missed that. Would you say?
I said, so we're going straight there, right? I'm just
I
pulling a
hope
hype.
not. Please don't. I put so much work into this campaign. Don't kill yourselves. We're going to be starting on this island right here. You guys are going to be washing up on the shore, probably over, on the outer coast. This is on the way to Solemn. If you guys were leaving from Redport, this distance between these two maps is not accurate. You would have had to like go up and around the Dardennes a little bit, and whatever happens, your ship crashes nearby in the middle, in the midst of this big eternal storm that's always here, and you guys would be washing up probably on the backside of this island, and that's where our first few sessions, our first chapter will probably take place on this island, and then whenever it is that you guys first get a boat of your own or a ship of your own, we'll move into like the next chapter. And it'll be, the first part of the campaign will be getting a ship and getting your own mobility and your own freedom. And then from there, we'll be setting some goals about what you want to do with your ship and the piracy that you want to take on. And it'll slowly unfold and expand, and we'll rope in some cool storylines, and it'll all make sense in the future. Let's see. We've already mentioned a little bit about the wizards of the area, how they are restricted in nature, and those that don't fit in are cast out or outright removed. Sort of same with clerics. When people are found to be, having the ability to possibly work with the gods, those that are willing to choose Astaire, the god of law and order, as their primary patron, are welcomed, and you come into society and you follow the orders of the White Prince. And those clerics that might follow other gods, well, they don't always get outright killed, but life can be hard for them. So there are few clerics of other gods, very, very few. And if you are a cleric of another god and you're going from port to port, you're going to find yourself in trouble pretty quickly. So PotatoMcWhiskey, you're a cleric of another deity or another patron or another something, right? Who your deity is a bit of a mystery at the moment. That's going to be something that you're probably going to try and have to hide a little bit. Oftentimes clerics are evangelical in nature and trying to either convert people or speak the good word of their deity. You're going to be in a bit of an unusual situation where that's not necessarily your jam, but you're still going to have markings and trappings of this other patron on you. So if you are like walking through town square and you're like, by the power of so-and-so, I do this to you, you might get a whole bunch of people being like, what the fuck? Who is this cleric of not Astaire? And like word could spread and you could get yourself in trouble. So you might want to like play it cool.
Keep it on the quiet. Maybe I should re-roll my charisma. Really good line.
Yeah, just, be careful when you cast magic in public, which brings us to casting magic in public. It's a dangerous thing. I want you to think of magic as sort of like guns. And people have magic just like people have guns, but you don't just whip them out in the middle of nowhere. You're like walking through a grocery store and you're like, oh, I'm going to cast Detect Magic. Seems totally harmless, right? But at the same time, like if you're walking through a grocery store and someone like pulls out their pistol and starts reloading it, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening here? Because you don't know their intent. You can't tell what spells people are casting. So if you cast spells in public, you might find people nearby freaking out, running away, trying to interrupt you. They might think you're trying to fireball the whole town. They might not know that you're just like healing yourself or divining what's happening around you. So you gotta be a little bit careful. You can't just cast spells willy-nilly if you care what people think, So that'll cover our two spellcasters here. Linguistically, common's the language of the land.
When you say common, you mean Eridonian?
Sure. We're just going to call it common, just for simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
But it is related to Eridonian, yes.
Okay.
Culture-wise, each island is going to... You can think of the islands here like the United Island. It's called the United Islands of the Dardennes is the name of the empire. So each island has its own ruler or its own ruling class who has domain over that island. That is to say, if you're on, whatever island, the Flotsam Island, which is the one that you're starting on, whoever the ruler of Flotsam Island is, they enforce the laws on the island. The empire the Federation, the federal state, whatever it is, they control harbors, docks, ports, and they have rule at sea. So if you're out on the ocean, you are in the domain of the federal government. If you're on an island itself, you're probably in the domain of the people on that island. That said, the federal government can, with the proper edict, enforce law on land, but that needs to come in like written format. The empire is around the god of like law and order, so there's a lot of like paperwork and bureaucracy, and there's lots of like checking logs, and every time a ship comes in they have to like check everything on the ship, or check the papers of the ship and the side of the ship and blah blah blah. Like, so there's always going to be a lot of bureaucracy, which can be kind of frustrating, but will work to your advantage if you are the sort of people who try to like dodge around it. Because if you take refuge on an island, the empire who might be looking for you can't actually come and like search that island without some sort of like writ from the one of the central islands. So being on that outer ring, it allows you to like bounce around from island to island pretty quickly. Most ships going from like the center to the outer islands take quite a while to get there. Let me just grab one of the standard empire ships. Clipper ship, if they wanted to go from the central island to the outer ring, where are we here? Oh no, that's going in circle. Outbound, it would take like 19 days to get from an inner island to the outer islands, and then that would be a circle and a circle, and then you might have to like go around the outer ring a little bit. Again, just take a quick example here. If you start on this island right here and you wanted to go outward, it would take, on one of the Empire ships, 4 days to circle around to get to this island, and then it would take 15 days to circle around and end up on one of these top islands up here. But then if you were somewhere over here, it would be 19 days to get here, and then a few days to get over here. So like travel from the inner ring to the outer ring is long and slow. And it, the speed depends on the type of ship that you have.
You can heal on a ship, correct?
Heal?
Like gain HP from like resting?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're in like a non-threatening, non-combat situation and you've got time to rest, certainly. But if you have to like man the oars, or you're like fucking with the sails all day long, then you're not really resting. Yeah. But if you can rest, then yes,
that
you can rest on a ship.
Be bedridden, like laying on the ship and chilling.
Right.
Yep.
Right. They would need time off.
Cool.
We're going to have a lot of different types of ships. They are broken into 4 classes very roughly. Class A ships are ships that are usually found on the outer ring. They are ships that are designed to maximize ore power. They have slim characteristics, they have medium-sized crew, they have very low storage capacities, but since they are like maximizing ore power and they're on the outer ring, they are one of the few classes of ships that can actually go against the tide. The wind and the tide are constantly churning in a clockwise inbound direction, and so it's very hard to go against it. The Class A ships are designed to go against it, and since the tides and the winds are slowest on the outer ring, you usually find Class A ships on the outer ring. You can think of Class A ships sort of vaguely as like Viking ships. They're often in that format where we've got like one mast, we've got like a narrow ship. It's only, one deck high. There's no extra decks on here at all. And everyone is rowing, and whatever storage space we have is just like fitted around wherever the rowers are. Class B ships are built to catch as much wind as possible for high sustained speeds. They're usually found in the Midlands or in the Central Islands. They, of course, do also expand out to the outer rings, or ships that move between things a lot are going to be this Class B style ship. A lot of the Empire ships are this style. Class C is they're designed to get the most out of the natural environment at the least cost. So these are more like cargo ships or merchant ships. They don't go fast and they don't go against the terrain at all, but they take very few people to operate. They're kind of slow, but they have a lot of storage space. So highly efficient, medium to small to medium crews, medium speeds, high storage space, general purpose ships. This is, you catch a merchant ship, you catch a trader ship, you catch, any sort of random NPC ship, it's probably going to be a Class C. That Class B is mostly Empire ships or people who have like scouting ships or messenger ships or things that need to get somewhere fast. And our very last class of ship are Class D ships. These are pure economy vessels. They have low speeds, low crew, high cargo. In fact, they're basically barges. The small version is a barge. It's got a sail and fuck all else, and you can carry a bunch of shit on it, and it's not going to tip over, but you're not going to be able to go very fast at all. You definitely can't go against the current, and you're not going to really have a lot of maneuverability. The larger version of these are outpost ships. These are ships that might sit in between some of these island rings and just kind of like go in circles somewhere between the island rings and act as a possible outpost for a military or possible outpost for a trading ship. You can think of these more as like a space station that's just like chilling somewhere between islands and is always constantly in movement around the tides. We won't have a lot of dealings with them, especially in the early game. Maybe in the late game we'll see more of them. Since you guys are on the outer ring, to begin with at least, your first ship will probably be somewhere in the Class A section. And I think for pirates who are going to be trying to outrun the law, Class A ships are probably your jam for most of the campaign. You might want to like steal a Class B ship if you're going to be doing something in the middle or in the Midlands. But mostly you're going to be dealing with Class A vessels. We will go far more in depth in this at a later point because I know I'm giving you guys a lot of information all at once. We good so far?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Ships of the Empire are usually going to be captained by a cleric of some kind, maybe a wizard of some kind. But all of the like important Empire vessels are going to have a cleric and a wizard on them both, and you should be aware of the dangers of that. Ship-to-ship combat. We don't have cannons. We don't have gunpowder. We don't have explosives. So ship-to-ship combat is like fireball, lightning bolt, Lance of Disruption, or if you are a cleric, Call Lightning. Call Lightning is a spell that we rarely ever see in most D&D campaigns because it takes 10 minutes to cast, and then every 10 minutes you get to call down a lightning bolt, where like combat rounds are 1 minute at a time, so you could cast 10 lightning bolts in 10 minutes, or you could use Call Lightning, and after 10 minutes cast one lightning bolt, and then wait another 10 minutes and cast another, and wait another 10 minutes and cast another. In most situations...
Like a storm and raining.
Right. And in most situations, that fucking sucks. But in an area where there is a perpetual storm overhead that never breaks, Call Lightning is hella bomb because the storm's always there. Additionally, if you want to call lightning down on a ship, you don't need to board the ship. You just need to keep a certain distance from the ship within range of the spell. Don't catch up. Don't fall too far behind, and then you can just call lightning bolt after lightning bolt after lightning bolt over a course of a couple of hours, and the other ship isn't going to be able to get close enough to you because Call Lightning outranges all other combat spells. So ship-to-ship combat, super fucking dangerous, especially against Empire ships, because they can start their Call Lightning and then just try to get some distance between you and then kite you for days, right? So if you're going to be going up against another vessel in any sort of ship-to-ship combat or any sort of boarding exercise, you're going to want to make sure that it's a boat you can take on, because you don't want to be like on the receiving end of a Call Lightning spell where they obliterate your vessel from far enough away that they're never in a threat zone, you know?
Yeah.
So ship-to-ship combat is fancy and complicated.
That cleric spell, Whirlpool, are you going to ban that? Because that seems like... Doesn't that like auto-destroy ships?
Yes, I'm still working on my ban list for spells for this region. Part of a larger spell project I'm working on. But yeah, there's a bunch of things we're just going to scrap and remove. Etherealness, as a third level cleric spell, is broken, especially in this campaign, because we do the ethereal plane differently than it normally is written. So the etherealness spell as a third level spell is just like super powerful. Whirlpool is probably going to be gotten rid of. Frisky Chest, I think, is getting gotten rid of. What is the one that increases the weight of things relative to the person who holds it? Weighty Chest, we're going to scrap. There's a whole bunch of these things. I'll work with the spellcasters in person to deal with this stuff individually.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
So just be aware of ship-to-ship combat. It can be frisky. You don't want to make mistakes here. I have a list of like types of people that you're going to encounter on vessels. I don't think we need to go over it, but just like a quick rundown of officers that you'll find on a ship. The captain runs the ship. He's in charge, often doubles as a helmsman and triples as a navigator, but doesn't necessarily have to be. Your quartermaster is in charge of supplies and pay. The quartermaster makes sure everyone has the food that they need, has the pay that they need, takes care of like keeping track of all of the supplies on the ship, ordering new supplies. It's the second most important position next to captain. Some people might say the quartermaster is more important, but the captain has like combat authority. So they kind of like artificially get shoved up there, but the quartermaster is like the core. Your navigator is the person who tracks the ship's location via stars. We don't really have a lot of stars out because there's that perpetual storm overhead, but they will use other visible markers, charts, maps, whatever direction things they can find. Ships often have doctors. If there's a cleric on hand, clerics of Astaire have healing spells, so they'll often double, but if it's not a ship of an empire, they might have a doctor. If there's no doctor on board, then the carpenter is the doctor. Because, you know, that's the next best person who knows how to cut things and put things back together. So it's either a doctor or a carpenter. Sergeant at Arms is another important rank that we're going to have on ships. That's the lead warrior, the person in charge of training soldiers and leading combat. They're usually going to be a fairly decent level fighter and will sort of lead the rest of the soldiers and the rest of the ship in any sort of combat action or any sort of like land raiding action. Captain's in charge. Sergeant at Arms is like, you know, the go-to tank. You probably a higher combat level than a captain in most situations. Your boatswain is the person who oversees the physical integrity of the ship and like helps patch it up and repair it. The ship is a big, complicated vessel. You can almost think of it as like a living organism. It's got problems. Things leak. There are holes. Things break. You lose materials and need to replace them. Boatswain is in charge of all of that shit. And those are like the major officers. Then we go down to cook, helmsman, and cooper. Your cook runs the kitchen. It's a dedicated job. You have a cook for a ship, and that's all they do, and they work their asses off. And everyone wants to be friends with the cook because the cook deals you out your portions and makes the food, and you know, is sort of the lifeline. If the cook dies, everyone's just eating shit food for the rest of their lives, and it sucks. Everyone loves the cook. Be nice to the cook.
Nice.
Your helmsman mans the helm, steers the ship. Oftentimes the captain can do that, but if you're on like a bigger vessel, the captain's got other shit to do, or like you might need a helmsman while the captain's not actually steering it. It's a pretty important position, but it's not always around. The cooper is also the barrel maker, also doubles as a carpenter, also triples as the doctor if there are none. Barrels are how everything gets transported and stowed, and the integrity of those, the ship is only as good as the integrity of their barrels and their cargo. If your barrels start to break and you leak your water, or they start to leak open and your food gets rotten, you're all fucked, right? So the cooper, the man who maintains the barrels, important role. And then we get to the last category of 4 people. A lookout, a sailor, an oarsman, and a deckhand. So sailor does sailing things. And when I say sailing in this context, I mean related to the sails, to bringing up the sails, bringing them down, letting them out, letting them in, doing all the rigging and jigging and that sort of stuff. Your oarsman is a rower, and it is a skillful position. There have been rumors of like the ancient Egyptians had slaves rowing their ships. No, you would never do that. Rowing is a core part of ship navigation. It allows you to angle yourself a lot more carefully than you ever could by wind. It allows you to go against tides and currents. It allows you to like vary your speed. It's very precise, very exact, and hugely important. Oarsmen are trained positions. If you're an oarsman, all you do is row. You don't fight. You don't deal with sails. You just row. Your deckhand moves cargo, assists with miscellaneous jobs, they move shit about. They're just like the general labor workforce, but they don't do any steering, any navigation, any sailing, any rowing. And then lookout is just like lowest man on the totem pole. You just go and look at shit and report back when people yell at you. And those are, generally speaking, are positions on a vessel. If you look at historical records, there's a lot more positions, a lot more titles. We're trying to simplify things down into like one cohesive system, because reality is rarely one cohesive system. You know, the Vikings had one system, and the Romans had another system, and the Romans in 500 had a different system, and the British had it. You know, it's complicated, and it varies with the era. But we're going to use this like condensed list. And these are the sorts of rules and ranks that we've got there. So that is our quick and dirty introduction to this region. We'll go more in depth as the campaign continues, but I want to just give everyone a nice heads up on it.
Cool.
Great.
Great.
Brilliant.
So, do we have any questions about the world, about mechanics, about our characters? Any questions at all? This is the open Q&A portion for the cast. What do you guys want to know or get some direction on?
For like a class A ship that we most likely will be manning, what's like the minimum crew requirement?
That is an excellent question. So a minimum crew requirement for a long ship would be 4 people. And that would be where you're not rowing, you're just using the sail on the long ship. That would be 1 person to steer, 3 people to deal with the sails, bringing them up, bringing them down, being able to change their position. If you have fewer than 4 people on a long ship like that, it's not going to operate. You're not really going to be able to go anywhere. You're just wrecked and fucked. So 4 people is like bare minimum. If you want it to work well, you're going to need 8 people for a long ship that has 2 masts. A cutter ship that only has 1 mast, you would only need 4 people for. If you wanted to like fully gear out a long ship with a complete contingency of rowers, it would be 40 rowers plus 8 people to do like sailing and steering and stuff. So that's actually a fairly large crew of 48, to 50. Which brings us to an interesting point. Crew. It's a lot of people. Crews get complicated. They need to be fed. You might want to use them for things that they didn't sign on for. It gets messy. And a lot of sailing type campaigns fall apart based on their crew. So your first quest, once we're like actually in the game, we're not doing like pre-character or pre-show, what do we call them? Flashback episodes. We're not doing like who you are and how you got here. The first quest that you guys come across is when you wash up on shore, you're going to hear about some people looking for these magic items that like make boats row themselves or make boats like automatically deploy sails by themselves. So your first storyline is going to be acquiring, hopefully, the tools that you need to avoid having to deal with a crew and being able to like row a ship by itself or sail a ship by itself, which doesn't mean you won't need to be making seamanship checks, but it will mean that you can effectively replace a rowing section of your crew or a sailing section of your crew with a magic item. And we'll get more details into that in our first few sessions, but crew is a complicated mess, If you have a crew and then you're like, we're going to go raid this place on land. Come on, sailors, let's all go fight. And then the sailors fight and the battle goes poorly and then you lose all your crew and now you can't leave on your ship and the campaign just runs into the ground. So if you're in a situation where you are dependent on your crew to power your ship, I would heavily recommend that you do not take your crew to do combat actions or combat maneuvers. Because if you lose them, then you just get fucked really fast. Yep. It's an easy temptation.
There's also the threat of you've got this big crew of NPCs that in-game the characters are spending a lot of time with, but in terms of actually playing, there's not really enough time to explore those relationships, so they almost become expendable in a way that they wouldn't really be because the characters would have some sort of friendship or emotional connection to these to these
Mhm.
people in real life.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, that's
becomes
what I was thinking too.
sailor number 35, and who cares
Yeah,
about sailor number
exactly.
35? You know, so it's messy. It's gross.
Cool.
Yeah, the idea of ships that sail themselves, I'm all on board.
Classic,
Yep.
literally on board.
I have been PM'd, and it's not boatswain, it's bosun. I'm sorry,
Okay.
bosun, not
Glad we
boatswain.
got that sorted.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not cancelled just yet, but
Close
you're
to
the
it,
first
though.
warning.
Woo!
Yeah.
Close
I'm sure there was
baby.
one guy in Twitch chat who was really mad about that.
He's fuming. Yeah. He's so angry.
It's fine. If you come up with any nautical terms that you want to introduce to the class, that'd also be great. Any other questions? I'm sure they're out there.
Don't think I have any right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly good.
Yeah, I think so.
Great. So let's talk our first couple sessions. We had chatted earlier about doing some like who they were and how they got here things. And I think those are really fun to do. And I think they help each player get to know their character a little bit. So I was thinking we might do like a session where we talk about, or a half session where we talk about PotatoMcWhiskey and how they became a cleric. A half section on Nilrim. What was your character's name?
Nilrim. Yeah.
Nilrim. Yeah, and how, well, you know, their objectives, how they came to be coming towards the Dardanelles, what they wanted. Those would probably each be a half session, and then maybe a full session between Nick and Pokemon, or maybe a half session there where we can do like a quarter session on Pokemon by himself, quarter session Nick by himself, half session of them together. So that way everyone's got a little bit of a history between them, or, you know, each character has its own identity before we all get lumped together. And I think that would be a fun way to start all of this stuff off. Yeah?
Sounds good. Yeah, I enjoyed that for
good.
other campaigns.
Cool. Great. So why don't we do the first one of those next week? Who wants to go for our first session? 2 people,
Do you want to
please.
do? Yeah, 2 people. So like Potato and McWhiskey and I can go at the same time. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do
you
you
guys
want to
want
do next week Potato, or do you want to do the week after?
Yeah, I don't mind. I can do next week. I assume Thursday. Yeah.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Oh, right. We're doing them on Tuesdays. Oh, I thought I said Thursday. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Tuesday's good.
Okay, we'll do the first one next Tuesday, and then I can show up for the first 2 hours. Then you can show up for the other 2.
I would
do
prefer
you wanna do the
the
first?
earlier. Yeah, because it's kind of later for me. I don't know if that. Yeah.
That's good by me.
Cool.
Cool.
And then the rest of you, since this is all your campaign as well, are we cool to stream this to your channel even if you're not actively playing at that moment? Or do you want us to not? Because I think
go
we
ahead.
all want
Go for it.
records of the VODs, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right. We'll check in
Yeah, go ahead.
beforehand. And then we will do Nick and Pokemon on the other side.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Right. So that is all I have for us for today.
Cool.
I think our characters are good enough to go, and then we will just
wait, there is one thing we've missed though, actually. Just in case there are any aspiring artists out there, we've not discussed what our characters look like.
Great topic, Nick. Tell us what we look like.
We look like, or what I look like.
Tell us what you look like.
All right, so Captain John Winters, right? Piercing blue eyes with mid-length, dark hair loosely pushed up his face and blowing in the breeze. Wears leather armor with a rapier at his side and daggers in a bandolier across his chest. He's got tattoos on his arms and chest and wears an eye patch, despite still having both of his eyes. And he has a beloved black pirate hat that he covets above all else.
I'll have my description by next week. I need to think about it more. I'm not sure what he looks like yet.
I was. Yeah, go ahead.
Archie is just this huge, muscular, bald guy. Got a beard going on around his chin. Big, bushy black eyebrows. He's mostly topless. He's got like tattoos all over his body. Just your standard, like, big, brawly henchman kind of guy.
Nice.
I'd say my guy is kind of more like an oily character. He kind of has like a greasy beard. You know, like the like he's clean cut, but there's something just like not right when you look at him. It's like this guy's just there's something going on there. Like you know in Aladdin, what's the evil guy's name?
Jafar.
Yeah, it's like that kind of a thing. He's got like
Nice.
a pointed beard and a swirling mustache.
Nice.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Last thing to say, I think it would be a fun mechanic where I will reward our player characters with experience. If at the start of the campaign, like at the start of each session, you guys have a fun fact about sailing or piracy or like nautical history that you want to bring to the table, if you want to show up and be like, I read this story about so-and-so, the sailor who did X, Y, and Z, and you can give us like, you know, a 2-minute historical take on sailing things. Or if you show up and be like, I read about this new position on a boat, it's called a blah, 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 and this is what they do. Like, if you want to come and educate the rest of the class with sailing or piracy related topics, I will happily dole out some extra XP for that, just as a incentive.
Cool.
All right.
Alrighty.
I like it.
We'll see you next week, I guess.
See you guys next week for the beginning of Tides of Death. Bye, everyone.
Awesome.
You guys.
See you then. Bye.